And so he's exactly right. They ain't Alabama, they ain't LSU, and they're certainly not Clemson. And, that's why Carolina's in Chapel Hill and USC's in California. And the university in this state always has been, always will be Clemson. And it's right here in Clemson, South Carolina. So you can print that.
I mean young Dabo Swinney back in the day. It feels like with a classic jab to start the show today. It's my final opportunity to talk about Clemson and South Carolina as I'm off the rest of the week. Diesel will anchor the excitement tomorrow solo, but my goodness, here we go. One step closer, Diesel to Clemson, South Carolina. We are going to do our official predictions at 5 p.m. I've already posted on the fanupstate.com, the Fan Upstate page.
And a lot of Tolos already getting their predictions in the comments. So if you haven't done so,
a lot of Tolos already getting their predictions in the comments. So if you haven't done so, go ahead, like and follow the Fan Upstate on Facebook right now. You'll see the post there where you can get your predictions in. But Diesel, you heard Dabo from many years ago. That is when Steve Spurrier in South Carolina were on a little bit now in the very of a heater, on a little bit of a streak now. In the very first segment, we go back to the worry that Dabo Swinney had in his voice as Clemson just couldn't get it done in that 5-game stretch against Steve Spurrier. The concern, what concerns you? If you're a South Carolina fan, what concerns you if you're a Clemson fan? I have 3 concerns if I were a fan of each. Diesel, that's where we start. Because every fan that I've talked to, they're concerned.
That quote, Cole. That quote,
audio.
Cole.
December
1st,
December
2011.
14 years ago. Dabo said, tweet that. That's when Twitter was just getting popular, right? Brand new. I was trying to figure out what Twitter was. Still doesn't have Twitter, by the way. 2011. You can date it by the part where it's at.
Yeah, really.
Brent was still.
Now you don't say
2011, right?
Post there.
I'm telling you, man.
You can tell by the youth in his voice. Again, it doesn't sound like the same Dabo we hear now. The same Dabo we from later as we do on Tuesdays at 6 o'clock. What Dabo Swinney had to see today. When we get to that, also some audio from Shane Beamer, both coaches.
On what's happening.
Commenting on what's happening. Again, Tolos, 5 o'clock. We want your predictions. Not right now, Dewey. Not right now, JB. Unless you get to leave us. Also, the Upset Picks Challenge. Diesel opens in 1 hour from now.
Are now locked in. Or your spreads are locked
as of right now, which means
if you really want to,
this was a Tom and Somerville thing.
Really want to, you can take Tuesday night max. How about that? Tuesday night, a couple of games to choose from. 2 games.
Bowling Green, UMass, Barnburner there.
Yeah, and you got
Western Michigan versus East Michigan. Who doesn't love the regional Michigan battle? 0-11 team tonight in action. Wouldn't you love to use that as your upset pick?
Oddly enough, UMass. For on the season, only
13.5-point dogs. Only.
Not that bad.
You're right. You'd think to be more. You're right. Spreads are locked in. 3 o'clock. I hope the one and only Dan B is on it. I hope is he grounded? Do we know he's in the air?
I think he's in the air because he asked me to lock the spreads.
There you go. You're afraid to move about it. He's in the air. So our upset picks. What's this title, by the way? Upset Picks a Strat. I don't know. We need to create a nice, fancy title for Dan B. We haven't done that.
Executive strategist.
Ooh, I like that. Executive strategist, Dan.
Some people around here just throw around that word executive.
You're right on that. Well, I'll give you a golf clap on that one. Very well done. Good behind what do you call it? Inside joke. Inside joke. Good
below the belt.
I like it. I like it below the belt every now and then. Diesel, what concerns you if you're South Carolina? What concerns you if you're Clemson? Again, I wrote down 3 concerns. If you just tuned into the show, welcome into Wire to Wire. He's Diesel. I'm Cole Bryson. I really really want to hear from both fan bases in this very segment, including those 29 already on the stream watching the show on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Also, those out there listening on the radio or on the Odyssey app or the iHeartMedia app. Phone lines are open, 844-326-3663. The Hub City Spartanburger text line is also open at that same number. Again, 844-FAN-PHONE, FANFONE. Diesel, do you want to start with the Gamecocks or the Tigers?
Well, I will start with the Gamecocks. So what concerns me?
What just concerns you
about Clemson?
Yeah.
If I have to face Clemson
Can't
this
sleep
weekend
at night because of this now.
One concern is that finally it's only taken, 11 games. Adam Randall seems to be figuring something out as a running back. It's only taken the entirety of the season. I know you can't really, take into too much account what he achieved against Furman. That doesn't really mean a ton.
And I don't think he had but like 2 or 3 carries, if I'm not mistaken.
But you go back to the Louisville game, Adam Randall was pretty good.
Yeah.
He had 15 carries in that ball game against Louisville. He put up, 105 rushing yards. It might be the best rushing performance of the season for Adam Randall. So maybe a little bit of getting hot at the right time.
So if you're a Gamecock, that concerns you?
A little.
Okay.
A little. Honestly, it's kind of hard to find things that should concern South Carolina about Clemson.
Whoa.
Another thing that would concern me is that this is, in all likelihood, the final ride for Cade Klubnik and Garrett Riley together. So does Garrett Riley get a little bit of a green light to go rogue, right? To get really creative, pull out all the stops, throw some exotic plays out there. So throw some interesting trickeration on the Gamecocks. Yeah. I mean, why have the play in the playbook all season long if you're never going to run it? So I think there might be a chance you see some things on the field for Clemson that they haven't done all season long.
I like it. I like unloading the clip. You would think that would be interesting. JB says, my biggest concern as a Gamecock fan, since we're starting there, is that the Clemson offense may expose the South Carolina secondary down the field. Gamecock fans, since we're starting with South Carolina, I want to hear from you. And again, 844-326-3663. I will go, since we're on the South Carolina Diesel, I'll say this. I think your offensive line versus Clemson's defensive line could be an area of concern. You've just had so many injuries at offensive line, right? And you hadn't been good, period. Right. Before the injuries, you weren't good.
True.
Clemson's defensive line, Peter Woods and those guys, Diesel, those NFL guys, they haven't lived up to potential. However, they're still there. They're still going to be tough.
Last chance to show it off.
Last chance, right?
Some of them probably won't even play in the bowl game.
I would expect there to be, sit-outs. So that would concern me if I'm a Gamecock fan. The simple fact of the matter is your offensive line wasn't good before the injuries. You've had injuries all season. Clemson has 28 sacks on the season. Diesel, 8 more than South Carolina does. I think that's one for me. I think number 2 is offensive consistency. Now, you have a new play caller, so maybe it's different. However, South Carolina ranks 110th in total offense. That's not good. Here's what's interesting. I heard a Clemson fan tell me the other day when I asked him how he was feeling. He said, I'd feel a lot better if Mike Shula were still calling plays. I mean, it's true, though.
Yeah,
they were so inconsistent, right? They didn't have that big play capability.
Which they showed against
Oklahoma,
and showed it against Coastal as well.
That's what I'm saying. So their offensive consistency. I believe if you're a Clemson fan, I think that worries you. And I'm sorry, I did flip the script on you. I went Clemson first, but I apologize. So I would say number 1, if I'm a Clemson fan, Clemson's defense. Did I say that right? Did I go defensive line? Yeah. I went Clemson's D line versus O line number 1. That concerns me if I'm a Gamecock. Number 2, if I'm a Gamecock, Diesel, the offensive consistency that I was just talking about. That's a major concern. I would also say if I'm a Gamecock fan, Diesel, if I'm a Gamecock fan today, I'm worried about the turnovers and momentum swings. I know it's a home game, but like we talked about it yesterday, the home team has not had an advantage in this matchup. The home team hasn't won in this rivalry since 2018. So, I mean, the home field advantage really hadn't been there. I would say if I'm a Gamecock, Clemson's defensive line versus my offensive line shows me an area that I do have a little concern. Again, them having 28 sacks on the season, they are a little bit more aggressive than you are defensively. The offensive consistency that I haven't seen from South Carolina worries me. And then the last thing I'd say about South Carolina is the turnovers translating into large momentum swings for the Tigers, because if Clemson does capitalize and you turn the ball over at home, it might feel as if Diesel, the air gets let out of the balloon. You don't want that to happen because you are at home. You'll have the crowd. You'll have the energy. You've got to capitalize on that energy if you're South Carolina.
One thing that worries me if I'm a Gamecock fan, and this isn't necessarily related to Clemson, maybe just because it's a big rivalry game, it may rear its ugly head a little bit more. But South Carolina seemed to have been cleaning up some of the pre-snap penalties over the past couple of weeks. And then last week, there was a series, I want to say it was in the third quarter, might have been in the second quarter, when South Carolina started stacking up, I think it was the third, started stacking up offensive line penalties, pre-snaps and false starts and all these kinds of things. Shouldn't have been an issue. Maybe at that point, and I'd have to go back and check who exactly was playing at the time. Maybe they had already gone to their backups, and so it was the backups who were having these kinds of problems. But, hey, you expect them to have to play in a game like this, and that's a problem it's been an issue for South Carolina all season long. And I just wonder if this being a rivalry game, meaning a little bit extra to them, they get kind of nervous in the service again.
No, I think so. I mean, I think, I thought Lonnie Teasley was the reason for those, right? And they fired him, and they're still having them down the stretch. So to your point, it might have been a few backup guys, but no, that's going to be a big part of it. Again, that goes back into that whole capitalizing on momentum thing. If the Gamecocks, you're playing at home, you're going to have the crowd behind you. It's going to be loud. You've got to capitalize on that. And I know a lot of people really don't believe in momentum, but you're going to have the energy. You're going to have the crowd, the momentum. You can't let that air out of the balloon. So my three on the South Carolina side, before we move on to the Clemson side, would be, again, the D-line of Clemson versus the offensive line for South Carolina, the offensive inconsistencies that we've seen. Maybe Mike Furry changes that, and then the turnovers turning into momentum swings for the Tigers. Now, on the flip side, Diesel, what worries me if I'm a Clemson fan, and Clemson fans want to hear from you at 844-326-3663, number one is the red zone efficiency on offense. You realize this Clemson offense, Diesel, when they get into the red zone, they just kind of sputter out. They rank 78th nationally in red zone efficiency. So when you're on the road and you're going against a pretty good South Carolina defense and you're going into that game ranking 78th nationally already, I think if I'm a Clemson fan, that's a major concern because you've got to finish drives. This is a pretty good South Carolina defense. And if you can't finish in the red zone, you're having to kick field goals. I don't know if that's going to bear well or fare well for the Tigers.
No, you're absolutely right. That's just unacceptable if you're Clemson. You can't have that. What worries me about South Carolina if I'm Clemson is the connection getting better and better every week between Lenoris and Jaden Sellers. We saw that first play.
That's a good point.
Big hit. And, I mentioned it yesterday. It hit against Coastal. It was just a throw into the flat, right? It wasn't really anything that they expected to be a huge play. Jaden Sellers did a phenomenal job breaking tackles, and that has been a huge issue for Clemson all season long, tackling in the secondary. If he can get out there and use his athleticism to break some tackles, he could turn what would be 4-yard gains into 14-yard gains really fast.
And that was just a simple screen.
Yeah.
Like I love Mike Shula's, I love Mike Furry's, approach there. Hey, let's make it simple. Let's get the ball to our playmakers. We're not going to try to do anything fancy here.
Don't let Coastal's defensive ends get into the backfield.
Yeah.
We talked about that all season long. They got to get the ball out of Lenoris Sellers' hands faster, and that's a great way to do it.
Going back to those red zone woes for a second before I give you my second concern, listen to this. This is pretty alarming. Clemson's red zone touchdown percentage hovered around 61%, which is 19 touchdowns and 31 attempts, ranking 78th in FBS. Overall inefficiency, Diesel, the team just struggled with general offensive production, especially in the red zone when you get the third down conversions and explosive plays. That contributes to those red zone difficulties. And I know you have inconsistent offensive line play, right? You had a new running back rotation, and at times conservative play calling, but still, you just can't have a game go. You can't go into Saturday's game and be inconsistent down there, and that's the area of the field Saturday. If you're Clemson, you've got to be your best. When you get in that red zone, you've got to turn it into points. The second thing that worries me, if you're this Clemson defense, a little banged up now, especially on the defensive line, Diesel, is the explosive plays allowed. The SMU game, I was at that game. They just allowed too many explosive plays. They allowed 5 plays, 3 by pass, 62 yards, 32 yards, and 23 yards, 2 by run, 12 yards, and 15 yards. Those big plays weren't just flukes. Like you look at the Duke game, also 11 explosive plays, Diesel, in the Duke game. That's embarrassing. 7 via the pass, 4 via the run, 20-plus yards, 7 20-plus yard pass plays allowed by Duke. That's a pretty high number for one game. The defense, they're not preventing those chunk plays, right, in certain matchups. And then you look at overall yards per play. Clemson's defense allowing over 5.34 yards per play per their split stats. It's not terrible, but in high-level college football, when you talk about going against a guy in Lenore Sellers who can average 5 a play, a defense that gives up more than 5 a play can be vulnerable to big play drives, especially if explosive plays sneak in. So I just don't like what I've seen from Clemson's defense when you talk about the stop rate. They had a stop rate of 68.8%, 32nd in the nation this year, which is how often they prevented a successful play. When you talk about big plays, you just mentioned Sellers. That goes into this point with Clemson's defense being one of my worries when they've allowed so many big plays. Hey, don't forget Harbor. Harbor also could be a big play guy. And if I'm Clemson, I cannot at home at South Carolina, the game's there. You can't go into that and allow big plays. I think that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, and another big issue they got to look out for is a rested up Dylan Stewart.
He didn't
play last week against Coastal, and he's rested. He's ready to eat. He's ready to show, that he ought to be a first-round draft pick. He's ready to put up those kind of numbers. And as you said, with a depleted offensive line, maybe having to move some personnel around, I don't want to put somebody that's not used to blocking an elite defensive end against him, especially in a one-on-one situation. That's going to be a big-time problem for Clemson.
Especially if we're watching the game and we realize that he's a problem early, I think that Dylan Stewart can continue to put pressure on an offensive line. If they do a good job of kind of subduing him, maybe he's not that big of a factor. Maybe they run right at him. I don't know, but I agree. Dylan Stewart. And who was the other guy? Somebody was it Harbor that sat out last week too? I think Harbor sat out.
I think he was out
against Coastal.
I didn't see the cause. I don't know if it was because of that, ankle injury from that long touchdown the week prior against A&M.
Last one on what worries me if I'm a Clemson fan, this run game. You mentioned it's gotten better, and Adam Randall's, he's been a bright spot in a very dim season, a dimly lit season, I guess, Diesel, for Clemson. But the run game, like you feel like, and the Clemson fans I've talked to have agreed that if you're going to go into South Carolina on Saturday and get a win, you're going to have to run the football. And how much confidence do you have if you're a Clemson fan in this run game? How much confidence do you have that Garrett Riley is going to continue to feed the rock to Adam Randall? I mean, in the Louisville game, there were Clemson fans all over Twitter, telling them to run the rock, run the ball, and they didn't consistently enough. So I think that's one of my worries as well. If you're a Clemson fan, is do you, against a pretty solid run defense for South Carolina, Diesel, do you trust Adam Randall and Garrett Riley to be explosive enough on the road and provide a run game to where it takes a lot of pressure off of Cade Klubnik? Because we can talk about Cade being successful all we want, but we all know that a good run game makes your quarterback look a lot better. And if Cade Klubnik starts to struggle and can't get a run game going, I just don't think that's a good day for Clemson. I think they're going to have to run the football.
Yeah, I still question Cade's decision-making, especially under pressure. Will he make bad mistakes? One thing that would concern me is just this environment is 50% larger than any stadium that Clemson's played in on the road this season. At Louisville, they played in front of 52,000 people. Williams-Brice is going to have 75, 76, 77,000 people in it. They're all going to be against you. And so, I mean, I could see a situation where South Carolina hits a big play early gets Clemson down in a hole.
Yeah.
And then just the noise of Williams-Brice gets into Cade Klubnik's head, and he's toast. Like he can't see defenders. He throws a pick or two, and all of a sudden the wheels just fall off for Cade.
Coop and Greer on the Hub City Spartanburgers text line talking about Sammy Brown and Lenora Sellers. He thinks he shuts them down, which we never know. He could. He needs to have a good game. Sammy Brown does to subdue Lenora Sellers. Tiger Pal Rachel says, looking back over the season, would the defense have been better under Wes Goodwin? I don't think so. I know at times they were inconsistent, but there were things that Wes Goodwin did where you just scratched your head. It just made no sense at all, like the whole Sammy Brown situation from a year ago with him not playing in the fourth quarter. So it hadn't been good, but Diesel, it doesn't matter now. None of that stuff in the past matters. It all comes down to Saturday.
It's this is one of those games that, as cliche as it sounds, you throw the records out, you throw the should happen, the could happen. I mean,
yeah,
wild things happen in this rivalry. We saw it last year in a game that Clemson should have won and then ultimately didn't win because Cade made a big time mistake and South Carolina was able to capitalize. Speaking of not capitalizing on big time opportunities, oh God, the Carolina Panthers and that turd of a performance that's still circling the bowl last night in San Francisco. We'll get into it. Talk about, was the moment just too big for Dave Canales? That's next. in the world in the modern NFL do you get gift wrapped 3 interceptions in the first half of a football game and only get 3 points out of it? How bad? How big of a stinking, steaming, fly-covered pile of cow patty did the Carolina Panthers leave on the field in San Francisco last night? Welcome into the show. It's Wire to Wire. I'm Diesel. He is Cole Bryson. You Tolos who are Carolina Panthers fans deserve an apology from Dave Canales, the head football coach of the Carolina Panthers, because the moment was flat out too big for him. He was not ready. Was this the first time Dave's played in on a Monday Night Football game? Did they have a Monday Night Football game last year?
In 2023, I went to a Monday Night Football game. Was that Dave's? That was he wasn't there yet. This is the second year. So no, this was Dave's first Monday Night Football game.
Definitely the first time a Dave Canales-led Carolina Panthers team has been plus 500 this late in the season, with potential first place, sole possession of first place in the division on the line.
Yeah.
And then he just forgot how to football. He forgot how to coach. He forgot how to make decisions. He forgot what the analytics told him to do. He forgot everything on how to be a competent head coach in the NFL. And we haven't even talked about Bryce Young yet, following up a 411 million yard performance against the Falcons, a team that doesn't give up passing yards to anybody. And then he just regresses right back to same old Bryce Young.
Yeah, you know what? I have so many thoughts on what happened last night, but I think the number one thing is, Diesel, I would say this is why people like you, like me, have had, hesitancy when you talk about this organization and this quarterback. And, every time Bryce Young completes more than 2 yards, people come on here and say, look, we told you so. We told you so. And you and I have been on the same page of saying, look, let's pump the brakes on this guy and let's wait until we see some consistency. And we didn't see that. I know it's on the road and it's a good team, but Diesel, you go on the road 8, 9, 10 times in the NFL season. Like, it's just part of it. Last night was downright embarrassing. And to make matters worse, San Francisco looked almost as bad as you did.
Yeah.
That's what's bad about it.
Brock Purdy couldn't complete the ball to one of his own players. He was real good at throwing it to the other team. Look, all week we had to hear from the I told you so's, the Bryce Young fanboys who were like, see, I told you he could go and be great. I told you that this was what Bryce Young could be. No, he's played in 41 football games as an NFL quarterback. Yeah. He is stunk in 40 of them. This is the last week against Atlanta was the first time in his career you could say, oh my God, there's the Bryce Young we all thought it was going to be. So what do you trust? What do your eyes tell you? Does it trust the 40 times Bryce has averaged 165 yards a game, a pick and a touchdown? Or does it trust the one time he showed out and had a little bit of that Fitz magic, in him? He played a phenomenal game last week. I mean, and to have those be back to back, it hurts your neck. You're whipping your head side to side trying to figure out how this team could regress so quickly.
Well, you said a minute ago, the inability to capitalize. That's what defines you in the NFL, period. Like, if you can't capitalize on the mistakes that the San Francisco 49ers had last night, and they had plenty of mistakes last night in the 20-9 win.
Gift wrapped.
You couldn't even capitalize off of. I mean, you scored 1 touchdown. It was a nice pass from Bryce Young to Ted McMillan, right? But I'll tell you this, for as bad as Bryce Young was last night, I'm not really upset with that, because you know why? I've seen bad Bryce. Nothing surprising.
I've seen it a lot. Yeah.
If I'm a Panther fan today, I am livid with what Dave Canales did last night. Diesel, that was embarrassing.
Do you realize that Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle combined for an average of 6 yards a carry?
Yeah.
And they only gave him the ball 9 times combined? What are you doing, Dave Canales? What are you doing when you got the ball first and goal at the 1 and you don't even try a running play?
I couldn't. My whole thing is, you've got it. You're about to kick a field goal, right? The game is late in the game. You're about to kick a field goal. They get a penalty, and then it puts the ball on the 1-yard line. And I have no issues sending your offense back out because you're being gift wrapped. You have the ball at the 1-yard line. And you come out in some stupid 12 personnel bullcrap where I think it was 2 tight ends. Rico Dowdle wasn't even on the field.
Yeah.
Like, you have 1 yard to gain, Diesel, and Rico Dowdle's not on the field. What is he doing?
So many bad things happened on that one play. Number one, you don't put a running back on the field on the 1-yard line. Number two, you call a pass play at all. Number three, Bryce Young has the end zone right there in front of him. He was at like the 6, and there was nobody. Nobody was going to get you, Bryce. Nobody was going to hit you.
Bad.
You had it. You could walk into the end zone from there.
I'm telling you, man, I almost felt like watching Dave Canales had money on the 49ers.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
It's almost like he had the over-under on pass yards and said, you know what? I'm going to pass all game long. Damn the running game. Who cares?
What do you like? We said on these airwaves that if the Panthers are going to win, and Rico Dowdle's going to have to be a factor. And I even listened to the guys that come on after us on BetMGM. Some yards tonight. And I don't understand the philosophy. I know in a game, Diesel, you get caught up in the game and you know, you're not looking at the box score the entire time, but for your running back, and you said it a minute ago, who was averaging over 6 yards a carry last night to get 6 carries.
Yeah.
You handed the ball off to number 5 6 times in 4 quarters of play.
In a week where Rico Dowdle stood in front of a microphone and said, I feel like I'm auditioning every single week.
I don't know.
How do you not tell your agent, I don't want to play here next year?
Ugh.
Like, how do you say this is where I want to be? If first and goal on the 1-yard line, they don't even put you in the game.
And you know,
even if you're a decoy.
And you mentioned the whole thing about Dave Canales not ever coaching, in a Monday night game before. My God, I mean, do you realize, like, Dave? We've all been pretty high, pretty positive on the job that Dave Canales has done because he has done a good job. But if this is where you want to be, if you want this organization to be in the spotlight consistently, and the one time you're in the spotlight, you look like that. Yeah. I'm telling you, that was the worst coaching job I've seen all season. That was the worst coaching job. It was embarrassing. And there are teams, Dave Canales, that play in hey, for whatever reason, Cowboys play in primetime every week. If you want to get to where you're going, you're going to have to play in this primetime window a lot more. And if you're going to look like that, I thought the defense was fine.
Defense was amazing.
It was fine, right?
They were just out on the field far too much.
Yeah,
I look at least 3. You could probably count 4 or 5 plus big mistakes from Dave Canales. Number 1, I think it was that first interception from Purdy. It would have been their second possession. 40-yard line, go for it. It's 4th and 3. Go for it. Even Troy Aikman in the booth is like, what are you doing, Dave? Go for it. The analytics say go for it here in this situation. You got to be aggressive. You're playing the 49ers on the road. They're a good football team. They just gift wrapped you an interception.
And it was a 7-point game at the half.
Take the opportunity to go get a first down here and keep your team on the field. Then you call a pass play on the 1-yard line. Then you have your you have your rookie kicker in the third quarter go out there and try to attempt a career long on the road. And it wasn't even close. Wasn't even close. And then you try to go for 2. On that go for 2 play. Like maybe in that situation, you say to yourself, all right, we get this. We're down 8 with 3.5 minutes to play, 3 minutes and 50 seconds left to play. Maybe we could get the ball back. Maybe we would have an opportunity for Bryce Young to do what Bryce Young does, which is always he plays crappy for the first, 90% of the football game. And in the final drive, all of a sudden Bryce Young comes alive.
Yeah.
And maybe they thought there was an opportunity to get that. I just don't get a single one of the decisions that he made in this game. Football Talk on the Fan Upstate is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game every Sunday on CBS and Paramount Plus all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
Good timing on this, Diesel. While we're talking about this, an email just came in. Breaking news. Is it pronounced Merrig? Trayvon Merrig, the guy who was throwing punches last night for the Panthers. Carolina Panthers safety Trayvon Merrig, if I pronounce it wrong, my apologies, has been suspended without pay for 1 game after an act of unsportsmanlike conduct during Monday night's loss to the San Francisco 49ers. During the fourth quarter, Merrig punched San Francisco wide receiver Jawan Jennings in the family jewels.
Oh.
Yep, and violated Rule 12, Section 3, Article 1.
Is that what it's called nowadays?
Yes.
Rule 12, Section 3. I just call it a junk.
Merrig will be eligible to return to the Panthers active roster on December the 1st. That is following this Sunday's game at home, at home in Charlotte against the Rams.
Yeah, it's not going to matter. They're going to lose that game.
Oh,
anyway.
lose.
Yeah.
The Rams are the best team on planet Earth right now.
This was the problem for this game. I didn't expect Carolina to win this game. They're not as good as the 49ers, even if the 49ers have been shaky all season long. 49ers are a better football team, but you can't have a deflating game like this. You can't have your like, you can't put a pin in that balloon and have it go and lose all of its air.
They did.
I mean, the inevitability was that you were gonna be 6-7 coming out of that Rams game. That was inevitable. That was what was going to happen. But if you could acquit yourself well in those games, all of a sudden you got 3 left, 2 against the Buccaneers, and you have the opportunity to maybe beat them twice head to head and win the division. But now, I mean, I guess that's still in front of them.
Yeah.
But to have just to have this level of disappointment creep back in again when you thought you were
roller
past
coaster.
that.
Roller coaster.
That's
what
the
it is.
thing.
And you know what I would love to know? I know Dave Canales spoke to the media last night and will again this week, but I would love to know what his reasoning is. And here's why. What I mean is, at halftime last night, it's 10-3. San Francisco's leading. You get the ball back. You're down a touchdown. First play of scrimmage, an 18-yard carry.
For the first half of football.
Right here. First play. 2.
Tossed it down all over the right side. He's able to break a couple of tackles and still roll.
An 18-yard pickup, Diesel, on the very first play of the second half.
And then you say, nah, we're not going to go to that guy anymore.
And guess what? That was his 4th carry of the game. You know how many times they handed it to him the rest of the game? 2.
Jeez.
2. What is your reasoning?
I mean, I know you have supreme confidence in Bryce Young after that performance last week.
Bad.
But when it's not working, when he's throwing picks, go to the guy that you know is getting you 6 yards a carry.
I can't understand it, man. I know that you and I, look, I say it all the time. I've never coached down a football. I get it. But my gosh, I mean, sometimes you just overcomplicate things way too much. And if you like, here's what I think is so frustrating about it. If you would have talked to Dave Canales before the game last night and said, hey, coach, do you think we can win tonight if we only give it to Rico 6 times? I guarantee you he'd probably say, probably not. Probably going to give it to him 9, 10, 11, 12 times, maybe 13, 14 times, right? You're probably not going to win a game on the road in San Francisco against a pretty good defense, giving it to him 6 times. But you did. You've got to be, again, to put a bow on it, it looked as if it was Dave Canales' first coaching job ever. Yeah. Like, first time he ever coached a football game. It was that bad. And if you're a Panther fan, like, that just can't sit well with you. That was just embarrassing.
It's head-scratching.
It is. It really is. I'll tell you what's not head-scratching. The headlines that we have coming up in the very next segment, you may call them headlines. We call them Daily Wires next. Wrong music, producer. Wrong music. Kill that. What are you doing, producer?
Dave Canales picking the music?
What are we doing? It's supposed to be the Daily Wires. I mean, goodness great. You can't get good help around here. It's just pathetic. I mean, we ought to fire that guy. He could be out there deer hunting right now. Did the rain stop, by the way? Rain stop? I think it looks okay outside. Stay safe out there, Tolos, if it is still raining your way. Diesel, it's our Daily Wires. You already buzzed once. Buzz again. The Carolina Panthers wasted a not one, not two, but 3 interception game from its defense last night on Monday Night Football against the 49ers, losing 20-9. Bryce Young was 18 of 29 for 169, which is below his career average. Threw 1 touchdown, 2 picks. QBR of, drumroll please, 13.5.
Oh, God.
That was his QBR.
An average QBR is supposed to be 50, right? 50 means you had an average game.
It's
above
supposed
50
to be.
was good,
It's supposed to be above 13.5. I can tell you
Can it
that.
get much worse than that?
I'll tell you this. That is pathetic. Bryce, this roller coaster that Bryce Young gives fans is one of those. I don't know if you love roller coaster. It goes up and it's fun, but it goes. I mean, it's one of those where you just drop, and I mean drop right out of the air. Kevin Stefanski announced that Shedeur Sanders will start in Sunday's home game against the Niners, despite Dylan Gabriel having been cleared to play following a concussion. Shedeur Sanders was 11 of 20, 209 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception in the last week's win over the Raiders.
You don't have a choice. You got to play him.
You got to play him. You got to play him. He played good. You got to play him.
It'll be interesting to see if Shedeur Sanders is on a constant rise, or if he will be just as up and down as Bryce Young.
Tolo J. Butane checks in on the Hub City Spartanburgers text line and says, checking in on Steeler fans back where we belong, first place. Tolo J. Butane taking some shots there. I like it. Also, Tolo's big news. The Upset Picks Challenge opens in 10 minutes. You say, Cole, I thought it's usually on Wednesdays. Well, it usually is. But we're off Thursday and we're off Friday. So you better get it in at 4 o'clock today. Tell your friends, tell your kinfolk, spread the word. The Upset Picks Challenge is open a day early. That's right. Attorneys, Diesel for Brian Kelly, have informed LSU that the school's claim that it had not formally terminated Brian has made it nearly impossible for him to get another coaching job. A letter obtained by ESPN from Kelly's representation to LSU AD Verge Asbury reads, as you know, there is absolutely no basis to LSU's contrived positions that Coach Kelly was not terminated or that cause existed for such termination. LSU's conduct, including its failure to confirm that Coach Kelly was terminated without cause and its unsupported allegations of misconduct on the part of Coach Kelly, has made it nearly impossible for Coach Kelly to secure another football-related employment.
If I'm Lane Kiffin, am I not watching that saying, why would I want to sign up for that dumpster fire? They haven't even fired the last guy.
But I'll treat you different.
Yeah,
I won't be the same. I won't be the same as I was with that last one.
Program.
Last night in college basketball, number 3 Houston had a scare against the Qs, but ultimately won 78-74 in overtime. Number 12 Gonzaga beat number 8 Alabama 95-85 in Tuscaloosa. The Tide are now 3-2 on the season. Iowa State, number 15, Iowa State beat number 14 St. John's 83-82. How about that one?
Yeah,
and
a lot of upsets.
There was 6-1 Clemson will host Alabama A&M on Friday at 7 p.m. South Carolina's next game is versus Charleston Southern, looking to bounce back Friday 4 p.m. Portugal's Cristiano Ronaldo has been given a partially suspended ban by FIFA following a red card in a recent match, allowing him to play in the opening matches of the 2026 World Cup. So
handsome people get away with everything, don't they?
I guess so. There you go, Portugal fans. Your own has been given a pass is the right word, right?
Yeah.
Los Angeles Dodgers superstar Shohei Ohtani will play for Team Japan in the 2026 World Baseball Classic, he announced on social media Monday night. I feel like that was a given, right? It should have been for Shohei. I don't know if superstars to his caliber are sitting out in the World Baseball Classic, but that's good to see. Let's see. Anything else? Let me make sure that I miss
Here's an
anything.
interesting one here, Cole. This just announced Colorado true freshman quarterback Julian Lewis will not play in Buffalo's season finale against Kansas State.
And I think they're like 16.5-point dogs.
Yeah, it is going to preserve his red shirt, though, so he will get, another year of eligibility. He will have gotten some decent playing time this season. Colorado's quarterback position, starting quarterback, is like a wheel, like one of those spinning wheels. And who's it going to land on? Okay, boom, you're going to start today.
Yeah, I actually was feeling risky. I looked at that game, but no, I'm good. Also, the Red Sox did acquire veteran Sonny Gray today in a trade with the Cardinals, the Boston Red Sox. Let's see what they send. In return, St. Louis receives left-handed prospect Brandon Clark, right-hander Richard Fitz. Boston will also receive $20 million to help cover Gray's salary. What is it?
I'm too immature for a name like Richard Fitz. Come on.
Come on. I was like, what do you I didn't know if Dewey said something.
Well, no, what Dewey said was kind of funny, but it's not that funny. Dewey said Brian Kelly was a deuce bag. That's why he got fired. So two bags for Brian Kelly. But come on, a guy named Richard Fitz, get out of here. That's a funny name.
Only on Wire to Wire. Only on Wire to Wire. I love it.
When we come back, it is time to get your upset picks in Tolos. 844-326-3663. We're out on Thursday and Friday, which means you better get your picks in early. That's coming up next. Well, here we go. Phone lines are lit up. The thing is blinking like a green Christmas tree. Text messages are coming in like crazy. The robot's having to work extra hard to get all these picks copied and pasted for the week number 14 Upset Picks Challenge. It has begun. And the reason we're doing that is very simple, Cole. We're not going to be here on Thursday or Friday.
I won't be here tomorrow.
You won't be here tomorrow. So you got 2 full show days to get us your upset picks here for week number 14. Spreads are locked in as of, well, about an hour ago. So go to ESPN.com. You know the rules here. Go to ESPN.com. Find a game where you think the betting underdog will win the game outright. And then text us with your name, your game, and the spread. Maze and Brew already got his in earlier.
Oh, early.
Maze and Brew.
Whoa,
I know. But at least he did it right. And I know Maze and Brew is going to send his in. Says Maze and Brew, Michigan plus 9.5 over Ohio State. But again, Maze and Brew, that is not an official pick until you send it in after 4 p.m. I was just holding it up as an example of using the correct name, game, spread system.
Yeah.
JT and Greer. You know what? JT and Greer is the shining example. He says Northwestern plus 6.5 over Illinois. Appreciate you, JT in Greer. The phone lines lit up as well.
I can't get them all.
Keep them coming, Tolos. Let's start with the leprechaun of Lyman and a hoodly-hoo to you.
Hoodly-hoo and gobbly-hoo to you boys. I'm an elated little leprechaun. I don't mean to brag. Notre Dame had the highest score of any Power 4 team over the weekend. Should have been a shutout, but Syracuse was able to score against our 4th string at the end. Now, the upset pick. I think I'm in the top 5, which I'm thrilled about. But Ricky Bobby once said, if you ain't first, you're last, and we're running out of time. But I think I found a game that will get me in contention. Give me Rice over USF plus 27.5. Rice will be fighting for bowl eligibility. I think they'll have much motivation to win, even though it is a large spread. If they do win, watch out, Mr. Mosley. I'm coming for you. Now, 'tis the season for thankfulness. So I thought I'd take this time to say what I'm thankful for about this football season. Texas A&M, I'm thankful we lost to you. For when we meet in the playoff, we'll give you back what's due. I'm thankful for Jeremiah Love, who's provided highlight reel plays. I hope he wins the Heisman and the championship and remembers these good old days. I'm thankful for the teams in this state. To Clemson and SC, may you be stuck forever in the land of mediocrity. And of course, I'm thankful for one more regular season game. But most importantly, you know what I'm thankful for. The grand old Notre Dame. Woo!
A banger from the leprechaun of Lyman.
I don't even know.
You never know where he's going to go.
You do get a golf clap.
Good stuff.
That is, he was even getting at Dave Mosley in there. I mean, that was well prepared. Does he use Chat GPT for that? Do you think that's original?
No, I think he just freeforms it off the top of his head.
He said, I have a long way to go and a short time to get there. I mean, he's pretty much eastbound and down at this point, right?
It was my fault for not posting the upset picks graphic yesterday. Dan B had it. He said to me, Leprechaun of Lyman has 49 points. He is tied for 3rd place with 49 points. So if he hits on that one here, I'm bad at math.
Quick math. You got it.
Take
your shoes off. Take your shoes off.
You don't want that. 49 plus 17.5 points. He would have 76 points, which would still put him 9 points behind Dave Mosley.
That's unbelievable. The one he just chose, was that 18 and
27.5. 27.5. And as Josh Pate says on his show, you cannot lose to food.
And I think this eat the dead perfect song for the upset pick challenge. You have 5 plus 25 point plus upset pick. That's a big swing. Good luck to you, Leprechaun. I don't know if you can do it, but
it's bold.
Ooh, speaking of bold, Dewey is up next.
Bold
Diesel.
and spicy. Dewey, do you have a rhyme for us today?
She
hooly boo, hooly booly oh. I don't know where he came. He needs to go back to his mission trip. That was, I don't know. That makes me want to pick against his team, but I don't even know who they're playing.
He needs to go back to his mission trip. God.
How's he in third? He's been cheating. He's been cheating.
It's luck,
Anyway.
Dewey. It's called
Dewey's
luck.
mad because he's got more points than
It's
him.
called
Dewey's got
luck.
37 points.
I should have more, but y'all, yeah, I'm not going to go there right now. North Dakota failed me. Coastal Carolina failed me. South Carolina failed me. So, yeah.
Add him to the list.
Yeah.
Do you
You're
have
not
a
the only one?
Hurling who?
What's your pick for this week, Dewey?
Anyways. But I'm sick and tired of Ohio State and that Darren Day person, and it's time for him to get fired.
Darren Day.
So this is going to be the icing on the cake. They lost to Michigan 4 years in a row. Let's make it 5 years in a row. Michigan over Ohio State. 9.5 points.
I don't think. I think Darren Day is an English actor and singer. I think you might be thinking of Ryan Day, not Darren Day, who's from
or Brian
Britain.
Day.
Yeah,
Whatever his name is. It's time for him to get fired. It's time for Ohio State to get knocked off their little pedestal, and it's time. It's just time for Ohio State to get knocked off, and Michigan has done it every year, and Michigan's going to do it again this year.
Wow.
Thanks, Dewey.
By the way, I don't think so. I think Darren Day, Ryan Day, not today. I think Ohio State's I think they're finally gonna get this monkey off their back, man. I mean, you just can't continue this way forever. You can't get 6 in a row, can you?
They say that that's the only thing that matters to Ohio State and Michigan fans. Could you imagine Ryan Day getting fired after having won a national championship because he still can't beat Michigan?
That'd be bad. That would be really bad. I don't think that'll happen, but
Marvy Marv on the text line is going LSU plus 10.5 over Oklahoma. Let's see. Tolo J. Butane is taking West Virginia plus 24.5 over Texas Tech. People swinging for the fences at this point. Frank Wagner going Pitt 6.5 over Miami. Tiger Powell Rachel is taking Navy over Memphis for 5.5 Tolo Steve, Georgia Tech plus 14.5 over Georgia. Let's see. Let's go to the phone lines yet again and bring on Jersey Joe.
What up, Joe?
Gentlemen, how do I follow two acts like that?
You don't. You don't.
That's why we gave you another 30 seconds to figure it out.
Yep. You don't follow that.
The leprechaun needs to go hide under his pot of gold. Dewey needs to go.
I like it. The triplets.
Yeah, you know, Jersey boy. This Jersey boy is going for the other Jersey team, and we're going to go Rutgers plus the 13.5 over Penn State.
Wow. You know, Penn State looked good last week. Maybe a little hangover.
Well, both teams are 5-6, so the winner gets bowl eligible. So
wow, how about it?
Is Rutgers the only power team or the only Division I team, FBS playing team in the state of New Jersey? I know there's Princeton and some of the smaller schools. They're all FCS, right?
Probably so.
Yeah, they're all FCS schools. Yeah.
Wow.
And that state's so small you can't fit more than one in there. You know, it is. Hey, you know what's funny? Jersey Joe, I actually like that pick. I really do. I don't have my mind made up yet on who I'm taking, but I like that.
Yeah, but those fans, they were chanting the new Penn State coach's name as he was leaving the stadium last week. Never coached a game before.
And those fans didn't even know his name before the game started.
Yesterday the point spread was 14.5. Now when I looked at it back today, it was down 13.5.
Ooh, is that what you just took it at? 13.5?
13.5. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Jersey Joe. Good luck to you, man.
They were chanting, "Let's go interim."
I mean, really?
Let's go interim.
He wins the game, and now all of a sudden they want to hire the guy. I'm not saying you don't do it, but good gracious, it was one game. He's better than James Franklin, isn't he?
Let's go to the phone lines again and hear from Delvin. Delvin, welcome to the show. What's up?
What's up, guys?
up?
I was decided between two games, the Miami Pig game, then I went with or either the Virginia Tech or Virginia game. And there's an old saying by the great philosopher Mr. Ric Flair: to beat a man, you got to beat the man. I don't think Virginia can beat the man. Give me Virginia Tech plus 9.5 points.
Whoa! In-state, the Battle of the Commonwealth.
What is the Ric Flair? You got if you're gonna talk about Ric Flair, you got to do the woo.
Yeah, I'm more of a Steam fan, so.
Okay, you're not gonna give us a woo, a Ric Flair woo. You reference Ric Flair. You're not gonna give us a Ric Flair woo.
Well, you know, 2 claps.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's how we.
Let's do it.
Woo!
Give me 2 claps. Start over.
Yeah. Woo!
There we
2
go.
claps on the Ric Flair. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. I gotta go with Virginia Tech. Like I said, till you beat the man, you gotta beat the man. And Virginia have beat them only one time. But other than that, Virginia Tech is on the series.
I like it.
I love it. Thank you, Dewey. Good luck to you. Dewey, where's Dewey in the upset picks challenge? I know Delvin. Delvin is on the list. I know I saw him. He is in 57th place, 19 points. He could get himself into the top 25. He's only 10 points out of the top 25.
He's done good. He's done well. Hit a bounce back here.
The spread on this game that he took is 9.5 points. So he's right where he wants to be if he hits on this one.
How much is it worth?
9.5. He needs 10 points as it stands right now to get into the top 25.
Yeah. I don't hate it. I'll tell you this, and I don't know if other Tolos agree, but I have it's challenging for me every week because I'm not good at this, but I have found it very challenging today. I'm looking for a game.
I'm looking at 3. I like the Ohio State-Michigan game, just because.
Do you?
I do, but I think this Ohio State team is really, really, really good.
Really, really good.
I have them as my national championship team. Now, they lose this game, they're still in the playoffs. So, it's weird to say that this matchup is a meaningless game because Ohio State makes the playoff. Does Michigan – I know Michigan's kind of out there on that fringe of a top 25 team or a top 12 team, like a playoff caliber team. Where are they sitting right now? Let's see. Where's Michigan in the top 25 right now? They are sitting at 15. They're 9-2. So they lose this game, they're out of the playoff. They're not getting in it as a 3-loss team.
Yeah, I like the point spread. I like the 9.5. I mean, 9.5 would be a big swing, especially this late in the year, but
it would be the best thing for the Big Ten for Michigan to win this game.
Let me ask you this. Are you not shocked? And maybe I'm missing something here. I don't know if Ty Simpson is planning on eating 30 pounds of turkey on Thursday. Please, someone out there in the upstate in the world, explain to me why Alabama is only favored by 6.5 points over Auburn. What am I missing?
Is it at Auburn?
Yeah, but who cares? They could be the Walmart parking lot.
That feels like lay the points. That feels like easy money.
But why? Why is Alabama only favored by 6.5 points on Saturday? Yeah, it's at Jordan-Hare, but still, it feels like. I mean, you're telling me you wouldn't take Alabama by a touchdown right now and an extra point?
Here's a little breaking news, Cole. As the coaching carousel is always fun, it's always worth talking about. And you may say, well, this doesn't seem like a big deal. It's North Dakota State. But North Dakota State has agreed in principle to a new contract with their head coach. North Dakota State's been supplying head coaches to the western half of the United States every couple of years for the last 10, 15, 20 years, right?
He hadn't been there that long, has he?
No, he hadn't been there that long. I haven't even checked to see how. I would assume North Dakota State's probably undefeated or a 1-loss team this year. But there's a quality coach out of the coaching pool, right? Just another one of those guys you would expect to be, kind of on a lot of people's short lists.
I was eating barbecue one time at a barbecue restaurant in Texas, and I couldn't figure out why all these people had yellow and green on. By the way, they're 12-0.
12-0.
And
they're rolling everybody.
It was hard 8 barbecue in Dallas, and I was I think it was with 2 or 3 people. We were like, "What is this green and yellow?" What are we doing?
You were in Frisco, weren't you?
It was in Frisco.
Uh-huh.
And what is it? Not this time of year, a little bit later in the year, maybe December.
Yeah.
Whenever they play
National championship.
And we were eating it. It was green and yellow everywhere, and we couldn't figure out what it was.
The Bison travel.
Oh, my gosh.
They travel.
It was unbelievable.
Look at these point totals: 62, 48, 38, 38, 38, 45, 33, 51, 41, 59, and 38 points. Only one time the entire season where they held below 33 points. And that was a road game at North Dakota State that they won 15-10, by the way. So there you go. Just another candidate that would be on some people's short lists, locked up with a brand new contract.
I want to bring this text from Tolo J. Butane up. He says, Cole, you're missing that Alabama is tremendously overrated, comes out flat, and really haven't had huge wins. Tolo J. Butane, you think Alabama's
and they haven't had big wins?
Overrated? You're kidding me, right?
You telling me that a win over UL Monroe is not a big win? You're telling me that a road win at Georgia, not a big win. Home win at a top 20 ranked Vandy. Road win at a top 15 ranked Missouri. Home win against a top 11 ranked Tennessee. Not big games.
Tolo J. Butane, I can't agree with you on that. I like Alabama.
They screwed up in week 1 against Florida State.
And by the way,
the Oklahoma game was a 2-point football game. What are you talking about overrated?
We just lost your caller, whoever that was. You can call back in at 844-FAN phone. I don't know. I feel like Alabama laying 6.5. I like it.
Not many Tolos taking this game, but Eric from Boiling Springs is taking Clemson over South Carolina plus 2.5. I like it. Or you mean Clemson plus 2.5 over South Carolina?
Is that the first one?
I think so.
Oh my gosh.
I think so. Let me check my list here.
That is surprising.
Yep, first one.
It's because the line's so small.
Yeah, otherwise people wouldn't take it. If this was a Clemson favored by 7.5, Gamecock fans would be all over this. You know it.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. It would be. And I don't have any interest in it either.
Have you nailed down your pick yet?
No.
No? I tell you what we should do, Cole. We should make a pact. We could pinky promise on it.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah.
All right. Pinky swear.
Wait, I need to tell me what we're pinky swearing on before I pinky swear.
We're going to give our picks in the 4:45 segment.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. See, I got you to agree.
Yeah, but you could have said anything just now. And I pinky
and
swear.
We're going to go rob a bank. Let's go.
That's fine. I've always wanted to. I've always thought it'd be fun.
Well, you don't walk into a bank with a ski mask on just for fun?
Not lately. Dewey says, Cole, I forgot to wish you a sad Thanksgiving. Hope your turkey is dry and cranberry sauce is sour. Well, Dewey, joke's on you. I don't eat cranberry sauce.
Boom.
It's nasty. It's gross. It's overrated. John Dog just got in. Are we picking today? No, John Dog. We spent 20 minutes just now on fake Phantom picks. Yes. Maybe you just tuned in. I'm just messing with you. Yes. The Upset Picks Challenge opened early because we're off on Thanksgiving and Friday. But I tell you who's not off? Jack Veltri, Gamecock Central. He's on next. Only 4 days. 4 days, Tolos, until Clemson and South Carolina go at it in Columbia at Williams-Brice Stadium, the grand finale, if you will. And to talk about it and much more, we bring on Jack Veltri of Gamecock Central, who joins the show every single Tuesday. Jack, we're starting with a banger here. I want to know, this South Carolina football team in 2025, which Thanksgiving dish would you equate this football team with?
Oh God! I mean, you really put me on the spot there. I know you messaged me a few minutes before about it.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating question, and honestly, I'm trying to think of like what people like what is stuff that like is at Thanksgiving that people don't typically eat. Like I feel like that's pretty much what South Carolina
that's good
would be. Yeah.
Would that be Diesel, Jack, like a green bean casserole?
I love green bean casserole.
Yeah,
with
but
the fried onions on top.
I don't know that a lot of people do they? Do they?
Grown-ups
Jack, do you?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever had green bean casserole at dinner before for Thanksgiving.
It's
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think something along the lines of like a casserole that somebody brings and it's like, oh, okay, just put it off to the side and then don't eat it. Like I feel like it's kind of like that, you
or
know?
like a big bowl of corn, just random corn.
Yeah, like kind of just like your mediocre, run of the mill type of side dish.
Okay,
Ooh.
I like that. That
Jack,
might be a little offensive toward Shane Beamer, but I like it.
Is it bad etiquette, Jack, to take something to a Thanksgiving and then take it back home with you if no one eats it?
Oh, see, I personally would. I would if no one's gonna eat it.
Oh, I would too.
Yeah, I'd bring it back. If nobody's gonna eat it, bring it back. Why not?
Jack, can you give us the latest on just how healthy these Gamecocks are going into this game? I know Nick Harbor sat out last week, didn't play against Coastal, but don't know whether Shane just figured I don't really need him to win this football game. Give him another week to rest up. Where are they at health wise headed into Clemson?
Yeah, they seem to be in pretty good shape heading into this weekend. Dylan Stewart and Nick Harbor are expected to be good to go for this game. That is what Shane said earlier today, speaking to the media. So he expects them to play. And look, with Nick, it was more so just about letting him get another week to recover, get ready to roll for Clemson. I mean, it's obvious by the fact of what the final score was. They didn't really need him to be out there playing. And same thing with Dylan Stewart. So we'll see how Saturday looks, but they should be good to go.
Texter says fruitcake. Another texter says,
What'd you call me?
That's a good one.
Fruitcake. You like that one, Jack? Another texter says veggie platter.
It depends what's on the platter. I don't mind vegetables, but I'll say,
Fruitcake?
I agree.
You like the fruitcake?
I think fruitcake's a good analogy for South Carolina in 2025.
I like it. Jack, when Diesel just asked you about the health, I mean, I know health is like important and having your horses is important, but does the health of both teams sway your pick of who you like to win this game Saturday?
You and I were talking about it this morning, Cole. I think you mentioned it. Clemson's been pretty banged up this year.
Yeah.
Like, Brian Wesco's not going to be going in this game. Like, they got some other guys that are hurt. I mean, that definitely has to affect Clemson to some degree, right? And I think for South Carolina, sure, do they have injuries? Yeah, but I think for the most part, they have their guys, and getting Dylan Stewart and Nick Harbor back is going to be critical in this game. So I think it really just comes down to, it's not even so much about the injuries, but more so about, like, which teams are going to show up this weekend. Like, is it going to be the South Carolina that has played pretty good for 6 of the last 8 quarters against A&M and Coastal, or is it going to be the team that can't finish in the fourth quarter and just kind of struggles to get it going offensively? And for Clemson, if it's that team that showed up against Louisville 2 weeks ago, then forget about it. I think South Carolina wins this game no problem, but if it's the Clemson team that can kind of get it going like they have the last 3 weeks, including that Louisville game where they played pretty bad, then maybe the Clemson does have a chance in this one on the road.
Jack, I know you really can't put a whole lot of stock into the Coastal game last weekend. It's just a different level of opponent. But it felt like the offense was clicking in that game, and the offensive line was playing pretty well. Didn't make a lot of pre-snap penalties. I know that's not Mike Furry's job, but how was the sort of distribution of tasks when it comes to calling the offense handled in that game? And do you think that's the right way to do it again for this Clemson game?
Absolutely. Look, I know everyone's going to say, "Oh, it's Coastal. You put up nearly 600 yards of offense up against a Sun Belt school. Congratulations!" Like that's exactly what South Carolina needed. I don't care who they're playing. Putting up 579 yards of offense and scoring 50-plus points is impressive. I don't care who it's against. And the fact they were doing it against Coastal, who is banged up, they got some guys out defensively. They were without the starting quarterback last week. So I get it. Like, it's Coastal. But South Carolina, how bad they've been offensively this year, they needed kind of that shot in the arm there, and that's exactly what they've gotten here. And even the week before against A&M, put up a really good first half against that Aggie defense, which has been really tough this year. So, yeah, I think Mike Furry's done a pretty good job of calling this offense, calling what plays work and kind of ridding of which ones don't, and kind of also getting creative along the way. I love seeing the tush push used twice in that game to score touchdowns. I love just the simplicity of that first play of calling a screen to Jaden Sellers, and it works so perfectly, not just because of what Sellers did on that play of cutting upfield, but the blocking was textbook, man. That's some of the best blocking I've seen South Carolina receivers have on the perimeter in my time on the beat. So a lot of things went well in that game for South Carolina, and it's definitely a jolt to get them going here heading into Clemson.
We're talking to Jack Veltri, Gamecock Central, just a few days away from the Clemson-South Carolina game. Jack, we know where these teams are. They're not playoff bound. One's bound for a bowl game. The other one, this might be their Super Bowl. With that being said, put you on the spot here. I have on my phone in my hand Game Time app open. I use Game Time a good bit. It's not an endorsement, but I have it open. What do you think the cheapest ticket is right now at Williams-Brice on the Game Time app for Saturday's game?
Oh, gosh, I would say probably $100. I still feel like this game, even though these teams are not very good this year, I still feel like tickets are going to be relatively expensive.
Diesel, what's your best guess? Lowest ticket price right now on the Game Time app.
I'll bet you could find one. I bet you could find one for $75.
Diesel says 75. Jack says $100.
$1, Bob.
The lowest price ticket on the Game Time app is in the end zone, upper deck of the end zone, section 906 for $136.
Wow.
How about that?
Wow. How about that? Imagine what ticket prices would have been if just for last year's game at Williams-Brice. I mean, my gosh, man. Wow, that's crazy.
What does that say about this game? I mean, that's a pretty good – I mean, a family, if you have like a family of 5 or 6, it's still pricey. But, I mean, for the Palmetto Bowl, like if Diesel and I just wanted to roll up and sit in the stands to be able to sit there for maybe by game time, it's $100, Jack. What's that say in your mind?
It's a good rivalry, man. It's one that's definitely slept on in comparison to, look, you always hear about the game with Ohio State, Michigan. You hear about the Iron Bowl. You hear about Georgia Tech even now a little bit after how last year went. You hear Texas A&M, Texas. I mean, you hear about all these different games, and I feel like Carolina, Clemson is kind of like that like the middle ground of the great rivalry games. And then the ones that you kind of just like don't think about, and then there's South Carolina, Clemson, kind of like a little bit of that in between. So Shane kind of put it perfectly today that he feels like this rivalry can go up against any of the other ones in the country. Like it's not going to back down from it. I mean, when these two teams are really good and there's a lot to play for, hence go back to last year when these two teams are top 50 in the country playing for something bigger than just state pride, it's at its best. And so if South Carolina Clemson can get back to that consistently starting next year, then, yeah, you have a really great rivalry that can go head-to-head with some of the bigger ones out there. Because this one, just alone on state pride and what it means around here in this state, it alone really carries what this rivalry is all about.
at Jack T. Veltri on Twitter. Find him and go give him a follow. Jack, I said yesterday that if Mike Furry could secure a commitment from Lenoris Sellers to come back next year, his resume should go to the top of the stack. Agree or disagree, or is that just too far?
Well, I think it also depends on what this offense does this weekend, right?
Yeah.
It's one thing to get Lenoris to commit to come back to Carolina for another year, but it's also another thing of, okay, what did you do in the final game of the season? Now, South Carolina puts up 40 points in this game on Saturday, and they have over 400 yards of offense. You're looking at a 3-game sample size that, for the most part, would be really, really good and really hard to deny, right? And if you get Lenoris to come back for another year, then yeah, I think you have a real good shot to be the full-time OC. But we know what Shane's timeline looks like of this. He wants to get this hire made pretty soon after the Clemson game. The quick and easy scenario would be go hire Mike Furry, promote him to the full-time OC. But I don't think you're going to be getting a decision from Lenoris Sellers immediately after this game ends, right? He's got about a month until the portal opens. If he wanted to hypothetically transfer, he'll have even longer to kind of decide what his NFL future looks like, or he could just make the easy decision and come back. But I think, yeah, look, it's more so about what has Furry done over these 3 games. I think that's going to be most important, and then you try to get Sellers back from there.
Jack, you don't think Lenoris already has his mind made up?
I personally think he's coming back. I don't have the inside scoop on that or anything. It's more so just my thinking here of I don't think he's necessarily NFL ready, and I don't think he's going to transfer. I think if he wanted to transfer, he would have done so last year. I think he's got a good thing going here at South Carolina where he can get paid handsomely. He can develop under a new offensive coordinator and kind of be a legend here at South Carolina. Like, imagine if he beats Clemson this weekend. He'd be 2-0 as a starter against Clemson.
Yeah.
That in itself is kind of writing himself amongst the greats in the history books. Why not come back for another year, try to do something even better?
Jack, a follow-up to that, and maybe we already talked about it. If we did, I apologize. How much say in your mind should Lenoris have? If it's Furry, if it's somebody else, has Beamer talked about that at all?
Yeah, I actually asked him about that pretty much directly, as you put it, Cole, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago now. And I basically framed the question like that of who kind of has input on this hire aside from yourself? Like, who are you going to for advice? Is it players? Is it coaches? Is it your administration? And it's kind of all those people. Like, the quarterbacks definitely had a lot of input on Mike Shula getting hired as the full-time OC this time last year. And then, you are getting input from the AD and Jeff Crane, who is another one of Shane's bosses in that administration. So, yeah, you're definitely getting a lot of input. But I feel like you can't let Lenoris necessarily make the decision on this. It's got to be Shane's decision at the end of the day. But, yeah, definitely get some good input from people out there that can help you in this hiring process.
Jack, we had a couple of Clemson guests on yesterday. I asked one of them this question. I think it was Chapel Fowler I asked this question of. So I'll ask you the same thing. There's a handful of recruits that are kind of picking and choosing between Clemson and South Carolina coming to this game. Do you get a sense of any of these guys that maybe you feel like this one is a tipping point decision maker for them?
I don't think so. Shane was actually asked about that today, and he kind of felt like it's not really much about like he used to feel like that used to be the case. If South Carolina won against Clemson, then yeah, they would get more recruits that kind of were on the fence. But I think it's more so just about what you do over the other 364 days, as he kind of put it, in that recruiting battle. Like, if it is coming down to South Carolina and Clemson for a recruit, it really shouldn't necessarily come down to, oh, okay, this team wins the Palmetto Bowl, so I'm going to go to this school. Like, that's kind of a silly way to make a decision, in my opinion. It's pretty uninformed. I think you got to make your decision based off of what school you feel you can succeed at the most, and whether it is South Carolina or Clemson, how they go about impressing you during the recruiting process, I think is more important than, oh, yeah, this team won the game, so I'm going to go to that school because of that.
Jack, my last question, how do you see this one playing out Saturday?
I'm kind of with you on this, Cole, of what you told me before. I think South Carolina wins this game. I could really see it kind of not being close if Carolina plays the way we know they're capable of. If this offense looks like they have in the last 6 of the 8 most recent quarters they played, they should be pretty good. Because I think this defense is more than capable of going out there and shutting down Cade Klubnik and this offense. But it will start with slowing down Adam Randall, because if Adam Randall gets it going and runs for like over 100 yards in this game, I think Clemson has a very good chance. But I trust South Carolina at home to get it done on Saturday.
Jack, you are the best. We wish you the best of luck this weekend covering the game. Of course, we'll be following your stuff, and there's a chance you might see one of Cole or I down in the booth.
Yeah,
not
so.
for sure which one of us is coming yet.
Nah, man, I'm looking forward to it. Look, happy Thanksgiving, guys. Thanks for
You
having
too,
me on
Jack.
all season to talk with you guys.
Thanks
Appreciate it.
so much.
Jack.
I'll say this real quick. I do not belong in the camp of wanting my quarterback to have a say in who the OC is. And I know that might sound really bullish and dumb,
Yeah.
but I'm sorry, I don't. I'm not letting a 18, 19, 20-year-old kid decide my future. I'm just not doing it.
Especially a kid that is going to be gone after one more year no matter what.
Yeah, like
right? I mean, maybe you could say, hey, this is our decision. Do you like the decision?
you 100%.
But you can't let him
Yes.
decide.
Yeah, I think you want him to be happy with it.
Yeah.
You want him to be happy with it. But it's not like, hey, Lenores, who do you like? No. No. This is way too important. And maybe it's Mike Furry. We'll see. I put the question on our Facebook page yesterday, and it's got a lot of comments on, if Mike Furry shows out Saturday, should Beamer hire him, promote him, retain him? You comment on it. Also, reminder, 5 o'clock, how Diesel and I see it going and your official predictions on how the game plays out.
When we come back, Cole, we said we're going to do it in the 4:45 segment. It's time for us to give our official upset picks. We're not going to wait. We're just going to rip the Band-Aid off. We're going to do it next on the Fan Upstate. we uttered some words in the commercial break that I don't think have ever been said before. Hey, Cole, turn on the UMass game.
That might need to be recorded, saved, and sent to the athletic department at UMass just so they know somebody watched.
Well, UMass Bowling Green on right now, and nobody took that game, so sorry, you can't have it in the Upset Picks Challenge. And it's funny, Cole, we opened it up for Tuesday games for the first time. Tom in Somerville, and no one has selected a Tuesday game.
Shocker.
So I guess sit down and shut up about it, Tom. We're going to keep it where it is with the Upset Picks Challenge starting on Wednesday next season. Some breaking news. This comes from Brett McMurphy about 15 minutes ago. It is official. Pen has been put to paper that Oklahoma State
Lane
is
Kiffin
hiring. No, but the guy honestly kind of looks like Lane Kiffin. If you look up the photo that On3 Sports just tweeted about 30 minutes ago, he kind of looks like FAU era Lane Kiffin, and that's not a compliment to Lane, but he's architected a really good offense this year. I get it; it's North Texas playing in the American Conference, but they have the number one offense in America.
Okay,
so congratulations to them. He'll need to hire a good defensive coordinator. I hope he's not bringing his guy with him from North Texas because he had the 71st best offense or best defense
hope so.
In America. So, hey, a really, really good offensive mind making his way to Stillwater. Is that right? Stillwater,
the linguistics expert said that you did not properly end that sentence. Remember that from yesterday?
Well, I asked it with a question.
I know, but it doesn't sound confident. I don't like it.
I'm asking a question. I'm asking. So it was appropriate
to
do it. I had to make a decision, Cole. There was a time
I did too.
when I was interviewing for a job. This is forever ago. Interviewing for a job in Oklahoma, and I was trying to make the decision. All right, if I move to Oklahoma, am I gonna tangentially follow Oklahoma, which felt easy, right? It feels like signing up for the easy wins. Or was I going to sign up for Oklahoma State? Because I kind of like pulling for underdogs. And I almost had to make that decision. Ultimately, I didn't have to, which is nice.
You do have to make a decision, though, and get your upset pick in.
Yeah, it is time.
And I've got to.
And I've got mine ready. Do you have yours ready?
I do.
You have yours ready. Yep. Who should go first?
All right. I've got mine ready. Here we go. Let's make it dramatic, right?
Oh, gosh.
Yep. Drama.
We got time. RJ's taking Navy plus 5.5 over Memphis.
Wow, that's tomorrow. No, that's Friday. All right, here we go.
Your upset pick is
Diesel. I'm going with the Fighting Michael Keaton's, Steve Harvey's,
Batman's,
Drew Carey's, Joe Walsh, Dolph Ziggler, Nick Saban. These people that I just named, they're all alumni of Kent State.
Wow.
Kent
the Flashes.
State. The Flashes. That's right. I'm going with Kent State over Northern Illinois plus 4.5. That is a nooner on Saturday. I don't even know if it'll be on TV. It might be Facebook Live. Both teams are like 3 wins and 4 wins in the MACtion, but Kent State has one more win than Northern Illinois, and that is the only reason. That's the only reason I'm picking them. I don't know squat.
Nobody does.
But I did not know that so many notable people went to Kent State. Lou Holtz, Steve Stone, Julian Edelman.
What state is Kent State in?
Alabama, right? No. Pennsylvania? No.
It's not Kent.
It's in... you've asked me this before, and not Louisiana.
Ohio. Half of the MAC is in Ohio. The other half is in Michigan.
I'm really disappointed in myself in not knowing that.
There you go.
Who's yours?
I am going to take Troy plus 6.5 over Southern Miss in Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Okay.
Both of these teams are 7-4, but Southern Miss is on a 2-game losing streak in which they've given up a combined 83 points.
I like that.
So they can't stop anybody right now.
Why is it dark there, by
Give me
the
the
way?
Troy Trojans.
Why is it dark? Look at this. This UMass, by the way,
It's always dark in Massachusetts.
it's already 14-0, boy.
Oh my God! What?
It just started.
We're not even halfway
It
through
just
the first quarter.
It just kicked off. We should have took Bowling Green minus whatever they were laying. Real quick, let's go to the phone lines. Guy wants to weigh in 844-326-3663. What's up, Guy?
Hey, okay. I wanted to give him a pick because,
Okay.
but I got the ham yesterday. I got all the other stuff, but I didn't get to talk to you guys. I have UNC plus 7.5 over NC State.
Ooh.
So you're in his Guy in Greenville, right?
I'm Guy in Greenville.
Okay. UNC
Going with the
plus
Fighting
7.5.
Belichick's.
You have no faith in this pick, do you, Guy?
No, but all of these games, I mean, the last one I did was Iowa. The games I pick at least are close. I lose, but they're close. Actually, and while we're on the subject, is anyone else asking why Texas A&M is only a 2.5 difference?
Yes. Hey, can I throw one more at you, Guy? I, during the commercial break, asked Diesel about this as well. I agree with you. That's strange. You explained to me, though, why Missouri is only, and I'm scrolling because I'm trying to find it again. Missouri on Saturday is only a 2.5-point favorite over 2-9 Arkansas. Explain that one to me.
Because Missouri is up and down, and Arkansas is up. There have been a couple of games. Arkansas's looked really good, and there have been a couple of games where Mizzou hasn't looked
but
that good.
2.5
That is
points?
one of those. Again, one of those teams is going to show up, and one of those teams isn't going to show up. Actually, while I have it, because I have the attention span of a lightning strike.
Yeah, squirrel.
One of the things you all been talking about Thanksgiving. Did you know? And I don't know what states you guys are from, but in New Jersey, you had said the other day how unpatriotic it is to play football on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Who said
Our
that?
high schools
Probably did.
play on Our high schools play the rivalry games on Thanksgiving.
I like that. I really do. I like that. I had no problem with it.
So when do you eat the turkey? If you have a 7:00 kickoff, when?
I mean, it's a full day, but you're off the whole weekend. So I mean, you give up Thursday. Everybody does the whatever, and then they all go home and have the turkey, and then mind you.
Plus, they don't pump their own gas up there either.
Well, yeah, no, you don't pump it, but and you can tell when you see the plates down here. But when another thing that we did up there is we would start Thanksgiving. I mean, we started Christmas on Thanksgiving. That tells you how old I am. So I mean, a lot of I don't know what goes on up there now. I haven't been up there in forever, but yeah, you had said something about unpatriotic the other day. But boy, those are great games. I mean, Thanksgiving is a great day up there.
And Cowboys play. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah, there was always the Cowboys and that other team, and then there was the Lions and whoever. So yeah, that was tradition.
Thanks for the call, Guy.
Be good.
Yeah, you too. Happy Thanksgiving. Good stuff. Diesel, on the other side, we've got to get to it. Our official predictions. The Tolos official predictions for what happens on Saturday between Clemson and South Carolina. That's next. 5 predictions. That's a lot already on the Fan Upstate Facebook page where you need to go. You need to follow the Fan Upstate on Facebook, also on Twitter, X at the Fan Upstate if you haven't done so already. Diesel's on X at Diesel on Radio. I'm at the Cole Bryson. Make sure you give us a follow there. But on our Facebook page about 2 hours ago, I posted these official score predictions for Clemson versus South Carolina, and they are still flooding in. I believe, though, before we get into our predictions for what happens on Saturday, Diddy deserves the comment of the day. Diddy's comment on our post at the Fan Upstate on Facebook says, for his score prediction, 0-0 and a dance-off at the 50-yard line for the tiebreaker. Ooh. I like that. Don't you? Dance off?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe some of these guys have moves.
That would probably be more entertaining.
It's going to be a big dude, like a big-ass lineman.
Yeah.
Who's going to cabbage patch. He's going to crank the lawnmower.
I'm fine with it.
Moves. I love classic dance moves. I don't like the new dance moves. They're too complex.
Yeah, I love the comment, though. Diddy, I think you win comment of the day. Michael's going 17-17, then overtime with a final score of 24-23 Clemson. Noah goes 13-10 Gamecocks. Chris goes 42-17 Clemson. Jay going 24-10 Tigers. Randall, I like this comment. Randall says, I'm a Clemson guy, but we're fixing to get whooped.
Ooh.
Not too positive.
Clemson fans don't have any faith in this team. And
my gosh.
I mean, justifiably so. You start to feel like you're getting a little bit of momentum, and then you have key players go down on the offensive line, which is in tough shape. And they got to still somehow figure out a way to block a rested up Dylan Stewart now. Come on.
Wes going 31-17 South Carolina. Eric going 23-20 Tigers. Marcus going 31-20 Carolina. I feel like I'm the kid on Elf reading the nice. Is that the nice list? The naughty and nice list? Stanley going 30-10 South Carolina.
Do you think you've been naughty this year or nice, Cole?
It depends who you ask, right?
Well, I'm asking you. Self-reflection.
I think I've worked a lot. I hadn't done a lot. I always go nice. I mean, me naughty? No, I never.
You don't
come on.
So what you're saying is you want to be naughty.
You say it.
You want to be naughty, but you don't have any time.
You don't have any time to be bad. I'll say bad. Josh goes Clemson 7, Carolina 6.
I don't know that he's far off, to be honest.
Wouldn't that be horrific?
I have mine, but I'm not going to give it yet.
You have yours?
I do.
I'm wishy-washy. Keith's going 38-32 Carolina. Skip's going Carolina 28-17. Jeff,
I don't think there's a chance this many points are scored in this game.
38-32?
Yeah, there's no way. Are you really 70 points?
Bradley's going 21-20 Clemson.
What is ESPN, the experts in Vegas, what are they setting the over-under
40
for this game?
Let me guess. I hadn't looked. I'm looking at the TV. I'm looking at UMass. Lose yardage, okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess the over-under. I know the line set at 2.5. Yep. I believe it's still. Is it still 2.5? By the way,
still, yeah.
No movement.
South Carolina.
Surprised I hadn't moved any yet. I'm going to close my eyes and pull out of the ether that the total is set at 46.5.
Right on it. It's 46.5.
No,
dead on it. Yeah.
46.5.
46.5. And we got Tolos out there predicting 70 points in this game.
No. So if you go 47 points that would be the over. That's 23.5 points. So, I mean, a 23-21 ball game's hovering right around the over-under, right?
Yeah.
JT and Greer on the text line goes 28-19 South Carolina. John Dog going 28-14. Look at the predictions coming in.
I'm telling you to slam the under.
Really?
In this game. Slam that under. I'm going to make my prediction right now as you're taking phone calls. I'm going to say.
Drum roll.
South Carolina 17. Clemson 13. 17-13.
Whoa.
17-13. Low scoring, 30-point total game.
Say that again.
17-13. South Carolina wins. Was that the score last year?
It was close to the score from last year, yeah.
And that didn't play any factor in me saying that. I just don't see either one of these teams scoring a lot. I see Dylan Stewart living in the backfield, bringing Cade Klubnik down,
4-point
him.
game, Diesel.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I see it being a very tight, honestly, kind of a dull football game.
Sherb's going 24-20. Gamecocks. Ginger Bradman getting his upset pick. And by the way, Tolos, if you just got off work, big news here. The Upset Picks Challenge has opened early today because we're off on Thursday and Friday. So get your upset pick in right now, 844-326-3663. Again, John Dog going 28-14 South Carolina. Dewey going 38-13 Dewey's going 38-13 South Carolina. Gamecock Mark goes South Carolina 28, Clemson 17. I've got, by the way, look who it is on the stream. Look who it is. Is he back
Must be out of the air.
Dan B. He's back. He says, I see Tom hasn't made a pick yet. That guy better pick one of tonight's games since he fussed about it. Dan B's, he did want Tuesday games pretty bad.
Should I message Tom and tell him?
Well,
hey,
no, you don't have to. You don't have to because he is literally listening right now. He's on hold. He's second in line, but
will he do it though?
No.
Will he do it? He's got one more game to choose tonight if that's what he wants.
You got one more? I don't think he
one
is.
more.
We'll go to Dale. Dale's first, and then we'll get to Tom in Somerville. Dale, what's up, man?
All right. So first, let's do a prediction of the score.
All right. Okay.
23-19 South Carolina.
Wow. Another 4-point game.
Dale, what is this? What is this squeaky, squealy audio? Are you calling us from a walkie-talkie?
No, I'm calling you from Chesney, so I'm about to get the same reception that you guys are when you're coming in. Dog water.
Hey, by the way, Dale, real quick, by the way.
We have the Audacity app. Tom will tell you all about it in the next call.
Next Saturday, Dale, not this Saturday. Next Saturday, the Saturday Scramble will be live at Chesney. It'll be the last Scramble of the season. The Ingles and Chesney will be there next Saturday.
That's the state championship, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy, so you're going to have what? All the state champions talk about. I might have to come in and see you.
Okay.
I might just have to.
What was your pick again, by the way? Who'd you pick?
I picked South Carolina, 23-19.
Okay.
A lot of field goals. No one's seen the end zone that much. A lot of field goals.
Field goals.
Okay? A lot of field goals. It's going to be a kicking game. Taker's toes are going to be swollen. Second, what happened to dear old Rob Brown? Is he on a sabbatical?
No, he is no longer with the Fan Upstate. We were told it was due to business decisions. All we were told.
Yeah.
So that's all we can report on, unfortunately.
That is it.
That's it.
I've been wondering. I thought my dude fell off the planet. I don't know what happened, but y'all are still saying the show's coming on. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe someone got sick. Now I know.
Now you know. Dale, did you get your upset?
Man.
Oh, wait, you didn't get your upset pick in because you're
won't
not
do
starting until next year.
That's right. Oh, trust believe me, I'm coming for y'all.
Okay.
Cole, you'll be engaged.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Engaged.
Thanks, Dale.
Appreciate you.
844
dropping the call, laughing.
He's laughing at us. All right, now let's go to Somerville. Tom in Somerville. Who knows what Tom's score prediction is? Tom might have a lot to weigh in on, but Tom, we're doing upset picks. We're doing score predictions. It's a loaded show today. What's up, man?
Wait a second. Y'all told me last week we couldn't pick on Tuesday. And
No, this is a special.
We can
This
pick on
one's
Tuesday.
special since we're not going to be here Thursday and Friday, Tom. And we've only been talking about this for the last 24 hours on these airways. We talked about it yesterday that this is what we were going to do. This is not new news. This is old news at this point.
It is to me because I'm a busy man. And anyway,
Doing what?
I got to work. You know, today at work, it is impossible to get anything done because we got excellent basketball games on TV starting at 11 a.m.
Well, pimping ain't easy.
You know, what makes it even better is we got action at 4:30 on a Tuesday afternoon. You cannot beat it.
Yeah,
you can.
Beat it.
Yeah,
you can.
It's 14-0, Tom.
It's 14-0 in the first going into the second quarter.
Hey, that's fine because I got Bowling Green by a lot of points today, so that's okay. Now, you know,
Wait a minute, Tom, real quick. A Clemson fan just sent this audio, and asked us to play this audio for you before you get going. Hold on one second.
And so he's exactly right. They ain't Alabama, they ain't LSU, and they're certainly not Clemson. And, that's why Carolina's in Chapel Hill and USC's in California. And the university in this state always has been, always will be Clemson. And it's right here in Clemson, South Carolina. So you can print that, tweet that.
Tom, your reaction?
Print that, Tom.
Didn't he say that in 2013, 2011? Yeah. Okay. So he proceeds to say that, and then he proceeds to get his butt run off the field. I think that night in Columbia, it was like 34-13, if I'm not mistaken. It was a total, absolute beatdown of the little old Clemson Tigers. And you know what? They got players out there trying to emulate Lenore Sellers. You can't do that. You do not have a quarterback on that team that's anywhere remotely in the same atmosphere as Lenore Sellers. And we're going to sit out Saturday. I'm going to say it every time I can. I don't care that we've won 4 football games this year. Clemson has not been battle-tested since September. And the Gamecocks are going to absolutely roll on Saturday, and it'll be 2 in a row. Next year it'll be 3 in a row. Clemson will go back into, we won the national championship 10 years ago. Who cares? It's 2025, and you're still the little brother. The Gamecocks are going to dominate.
Score prediction, Tom. Do you have a score prediction?
The score is going to be 24-3. Cade Klubnik will not do anything. The defense is going to be in the backfield all daggum day, and Clemson fans are going to be lining up to make sure Lincoln Riley is no longer welcome in the city of Clemson, South Carolina.
Did you say Lincoln Riley?
Not Lincoln, Garrett. Sorry, Garrett. Same thing. They look the same.
Lay off the bottle, Tom.
RJ, by the way, gets in and says, if memory serves correct, the Gamecocks hadn't defeated Clemson at Williams-Brice since 2013.
Hey, you know what? It's been way too long, and Clemson had a good little run, but that run is going to be in the history books for our future generation of children to read about, because that will not happen again. And you can say the same thing about the Gamecocks. Oh, Bowling Green just scored, by the way. You can say the same thing about the Gamecocks. Clemson hadn't beat the Gamecocks at home since what, 2020? So 2018? Who cares?
2018, yeah.
This year.
Hey, Tom, what spread did you lay on this game? You said you had Bowling Green by a lot. What do you mean by a lot?
Oh, on Underdog, sometimes you can move the needle a little bit. I took it all the way up to like 25.
Ooh. Well, they're at 21 right now. I think you're going to win. I think you're going to hit that bet.
And, Tom, you need to download Prize Picks and enter promo code Cole, by the way.
I already got it.
Oh.
I already got it.
Sorry. Never mind.
I'll tell y'all this. Select more on every Lenore Sellers stat on Saturday.
Thanks, Tom.
Y'all have a happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, Tom, we need your upset pick.
Oh, yeah, upset pick.
Okay. I am going to stick in the MAC, though, because y'all gave me a hard time about that. And there was a game on Saturday at noon. Where is it? I got it right
Kent
here.
State.
On my little
Kent State, here. Tom. Kent State.
No.
Yes. That's the one I picked.
But you were complaining about not being able to take Tuesday games, and you're not going to take tonight's Tuesday game?
It's only 2.5 points.
Well, are you a man of your word, or are you not, Tom?
Tom, there's only one action game at noon, I think.
I got it. I'm going to take Central Michigan plus 10.5
over Toledo.
Okay.
Toledo.
All right.
Tom, you're the man.
And Clemson fans, I hope the dog eats your turkey.
But other than that, I hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we'll be back at it on Monday.
Oh, my gosh.
Thanks, Tom.
Can't beat it with a stick, man.
He took, I wrote this down. He took South Carolina 24, Clemson 3. Could you imagine if the Cade Klubnik era ends in field goal range against South Carolina? I call Bryce Young FGR Bryce, which means field goal range Bryce.
I like that.
Maybe it's FGR Cade in this game.
I like that. Tolo Sean getting in with his upset pick. RJ says the Gamecocks have been rebuilding for 25 years, Tom. When are they going to do something? JT and Greer says, I'm a Gamecock fan, but Tom is very confident in our 4-win team. Lefty Tiger gets in. Lefty Tiger says, I love that Clemson doesn't have any loony fans like Tom that call in. Can't wait to not hear him next week. Tom is very bullish.
What if Tom in Somerville was actually the famous Clemson Tom in disguise?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he is.
Maybe. I don't know.
There's only.
Have you ever seen them in the same room together?
No, I hadn't.
There you go.
I hadn't. Tom in Somerville is unique. So you have made your prediction.
Yep.
You went 17-14.
I went 17-14. Yep.
I told Jack Veltri this morning I'm scared about this pick because I've gotten Clemson, South Carolina correct like the last 2 or 3 years. And Diesel, I don't really feel good about this one.
I think South Carolina is going to pick Cade Klubnik off maybe twice in this game. I'm calling for at least +2 in the turnover margin.
I just can't get a good gauge on it.
An interception and maybe a fumble recovery.
Okay.
I think they're going to +2 them in the turnover margin. And they're not going to be able to turn it into a lot of points, but I think they'll probably get some points off of those turnovers.
I am going. My official prediction is in, and I've written it down. I've wrote it down on the rundown. Diesel, Tolos, ladies and gentlemen across the upstate of South Carolina, I am going to, for the second year in a row, pick the South Carolina Gamecocks to win this game. I picked Clemson in 2023, and in 2022, I thought all along Spencer Rattler had a really good shot. They were down at halftime. Shane Beamer told the fan base on national TV that we're going to come back and win this game. They did. 7-game win streak before that. Clemson won 7 in a row. But for the second year in a row, I'm picking the Gamecocks to win this game. I'm going South Carolina 28.
Ooh.
Clemson 20.
I hope so, just for the sake of making it a watchable game.
28-20.
If this game sucks and it's where I think it could be, both teams scoring in the teens, I'm going to turn it and watch Michigan, Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going Gamecocks by 8 points. That's what I told Jack Veltri earlier today. I'm sticking with it. You talk about unwatchable. That 2023 game was unwatchable, where Clemson won 16-7. That was one of the most unwatchable South Carolina Clemson games I can ever remember. I mean, just horrible. No offense. Cade Klubnik was meh, but they got the win. And ultimately, that's all that matters.
Cade
Last year
is still meh.
Well,
what are you
he's
talking about?
He's maybe a little bit meh-er than meh.
A little less meh?
A little less meh. I like that. A little less meh. But I'm going Gamecocks. Tolos, am I right? Am I wrong? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I'm going Gamecocks to win by 8. And that would be, by the way, Diesel, that would be covering and hitting the over, because you said the over set at what, 46.5?
46.5. Yeah.
So that would be the over hits, and South Carolina, which is laying 2.5 right now. That would be the Gamecocks covering that 2.5 point spread.
I know that you can't legally bet that outcome.
No.
But if one were interested in finding a way, one could do it.
You could, and
you just got to know people.
You do, but I'll just tell you this. I wouldn't be surprised if Clemson won. I wouldn't be, and that's why I think this game's challenging to pick this year. I think Clemson's playing better, but I do think that Jaheim Lawson and a couple other injuries, I think Clemson's a little bit bitten by the injury bug, and I do think that matters.
Yeah. I think this offensive line is going to be playing like a colander, full of holes.
We'll see, man. It's going to be fun. Again, Tolos, I'm not going to be on the air tomorrow, so I will be live tweeting all about it. I think one of us, I don't think I'll be there. I think there's a good chance that Diesel will be in person in Columbia in Shane Beamer's headset. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, I'll be next to the at least I'll be next to the defensive coordinator's booth. I don't know if we'll hear some choice words coming out of that booth we normally do. Somebody over there likes to use 4-letter words.
Ryan on Facebook on the stream says Dorman over Dutch Fork. That's a big one Friday, and I would agree with you, Ryan. I also like Dorman over Dutch Fork, and I think a lot of people, from what I've seen this week, are taking Dorman over Dutch Fork. That's going to be a big game. I'll be there Friday night.
We haven't even had a chance to talk about that game.
I know it's
on
big
these
one.
airwaves. Well, I mean the Burns Dutch Fork game.
Oh, I know. That was
Burns
tough.
kind of held him down offensively for a large chunk of that game.
Burns couldn't get anything going offensively. Quarterback position, with the quarterback, I think we threw for 35 yards. Dutch Fork's good. I think it's going to be a really good game. I'm going to be there, but I think Dorman's the better team. I like the Cavaliers to get it done Friday.
Mitchell on the text line says Sellers will spend a lot of time on his back.
Ooh.
When we come back, let's hear directly from Dave Canales. What did old Dave have to say following that turd of an offensive performance by the Carolina Panthers? We'll hear from him and from other sports figures around the game. An audio blitz next. And it's now 28-0 Bowling Green over UMass.
What a game.
Shut it down. Just shut it down. I know this is the last game of the season for UMass.
Like, shut the game down or the UMass program down?
The program. You want to talk about a school? I can't believe there's this many people there. Can you believe it? Looks that one shot.
Yeah.
Looked like there was every bit of like 75 people there.
That's a lot of people for UMass.
I
mean, if you're think about it though, if you have to live a miserable life and live in the state of Massachusetts, I mean, wouldn't you? I mean, what else are we gonna do here?
Well, it's in Amherst, right?
I mean,
where is UMass?
Oh gosh,
it's in Amherst, Massachusetts. This is riveting radio. I get it.
Yeah, it is.
It's actually a beautiful, quaint little New England town. If you're into that sort of thing,
you're
it's kind of like Asheville, but more like old timey. And
you just proved my point.
Massachusetts. Cole, we're gonna get to some audio here of Dave Canales in a minute. But there's a really weird. I mean, you could tell me there's not a story here, and that's fine. Pablo Torre is being sued by Jordan Hudson. Pablo Torre, big deal. Been around for a long time in the sports reporting world. He's like a bird dog when it comes to sports reporting. He is all over things. 275,000 followers on Twitter. He is a journalist in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
And he is being sued by Bill Belichick's girlfriend.
And that's happening because
Pablo Torre says that he released documents that he obtained from North Carolina that contain Jordan Hudson's birth date. Jordan Hudson says, well, I never submitted a birth date to North Carolina. So how did he get anything? And he's posting defamatory. I mean, this is like...
You know what? Jordan Hudson, I'm so sick of this whole Jordan Hudson.
She is not hot enough to be this much of a pain in the ass.
Did you see that picture of her at that gymnastics thing the other day? Did you see that?
Yeah.
I can't say on radio what I said out loud because I saw the picture of Bill Belichick watching, right, over in the corner, looking like an old grandpa.
Looking like a creep.
I can't say what I thought she looked. I mean, it was just weird.
Adult cheerleading competitions are weird.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'd probably get reprimanded and called into the office if I, really told you how I felt on that. But I just tell you, look, this whole Jordan Hudson thing, we've got to put it to bed. We've got to quit giving this stupid lady or whatever she is. We got to quit giving her press. Quit talking about it like this. She is only being talked about. She better be thanking Pablo. What's his name? Pablo Torres. Torre. She better be thanking him because if it wasn't for him and Bill Belichick, I wouldn't know who this chick was, but. She's just loafing and getting money from old Grandpa Bill, and I don't like it. I'm so sick of this whole Jordan Hudson and the Bill Belichick thing.
It's a train wreck. People want to pay attention to a train wreck, right? You drive past an accident on the highway.
Sure.
People don't speed up because they say, "Well, it's none of my business. I'm just going to get on past this." No. Everybody slows down.
Want to see
rubberneck. Got to see what's going on.
Yep, you're right.
Let's listen to some audio, Cole, and you tell me if you put any faith in this whatsoever. Here is Dave Canales explaining why on 1st and goal in the first half, they don't have a running back on the field. They don't have Rico Dowdle, no Chuba Hubbard, and they throw it and it gets intercepted. Here's Dave. Maybe. Dave, you there?
Great action. He had Mitch open in the back half, and there's an option he could take off and run it into the front pylon. He saw Mitch, and right when he turns back in, they had a defender on the edge who popped out and intercepted it. At that time, he made a great play on the ball. But, we've been running the ball there in that situation and felt like we could get another chance to run at it if we didn't get the completion on that roll. But I like the call. It was an aggressive call, a play action that we had opportunities on, and unfortunately came out with an interception.
And Russell Wilson thought he'd get another chance to hand it off to Marshawn Lynch. Instead, he threw an interception in the end zone, and Tom Brady won another Super Bowl, right? Like, come on. I mean, this is just this guy. I can't tell you how much respect I lost for Dave Canales after last night.
You run it up the gut on 1st and goal from the 1. You run it up the gut on 1st and goal, on 2nd and goal from the 1. You run it up the gut on 3rd and goal from the 1, and guess what? You try again on 4th down. They can't stop it 4 times in a row.
That was
got
awful.
Rico freaking Dowdle.
And then he said, look, I didn't like what he said. We give it's an option play, what RPO, whatever it is. Don't give them an option. You're the coach.
Yeah.
You decide what you want to run. The same thing with that play in the second half when They were about to kick the PAT after the Ted McMillan touchdown, right? And they go out there, and San Francisco gets a penalty, and you go out there and get the ball on the 1 yard line, and all you've got to do is hand it to number 5. But wait, where's number 5 at? Is he? Where's
he's
number
in the locker room reading a newspaper.
Where is number 5? Number 5 is nowhere to be. I'm just telling you, Dave Canales, I know he'll have a really giddy, happy, positive answer like he always does. But that was just as embarrassing as of a coaching performance. I liked the guy until last night. He put me through 3 hours that I'll never get back.
Well, here's the audio of the lone bright spot for the Carolina Panthers in this game offensively. This is the touchdown pass in the third quarter from Bryce to Ted.
Little shoulder fake, end zone shot. He's got the rookie touchdown, McMillan, and the Panthers are back in it.
Yeah, that was a great play. That was a great play. And I was about to tweet and call him FGR Bryce. And then he hits that pass, and I have to hit that little back button and say, okay, I can't really post this right now. But for the most part, that's all Bryce Young is good for.
I'll tell you this.
165 yards in this game, below his career average.
Before you move on from the Panthers, I said on Twitter last night that Dan Morgan should beg John Lynch to give him Mac Jones, because I know that's past the trade deadline now, and you can't make trades right now, right? You have to wait till whatever it is, March or April, whenever the NFL season opens. But if you, think about it. Brock Purdy's their guy, right? He wasn't good last night. Mac Jones looked really good, Diesel, this year when he played. If you're Dave Canales and you're looking down or if you're Dan Morgan looking down at that game last night and you see that guy on the sideline and Mac Jones, you've got to be thinking, oh, by the way, UMass scored a touchdown.
No, they didn't.
Breaking news. They did.
What?
They scored a touchdown.
Oh,
if you're Dan Morgan, don't you think hey, Diesel, think about it. How many times, not to go down a rabbit hole here, but think about this. How many NFL quarterbacks have we seen in the past 2 to 3 years go to a new destination, revive their career, and look good? I'm not talking about drafting a guy. I'm talking about getting a veteran, right? Why? You tell me why it doesn't make sense for the Panthers to go get Mac Jones. Give him whatever else he wants. I mean, I know in New England he wasn't great, but he's still got a lot of career left. I think there's more upside with Mac Jones than there is Bryce Young at this point. He's taller.
Yeah.
And you know what? He played really quality football this season. I don't know why. I guess I'm the only person in America that thinks that, but they need to go get that Mac Jones guy and tell Bryce Young to start packing his bags.
Bryce needs to be traded off somewhere where he actually fits in a system that might develop him.
He might fit in Shanahan's system.
Baltimore may work.
And
San Francisco may work.
Shanahan's a great.
Miami may work.
Yeah. Anywhere but Charlotte.
Yeah.
It ain't working, Bryce. I'm sorry.
Cole, there was an incident. Everybody's talking about it. The punch, the 1-2 punch heard around the world when Trayvon Moehrig decided to give the old uppercut to Juwan Jennings Beans. And here's what it sounded like during the aftermath after the game when Juwan Jennings decided to get a little retaliation for that.
Both offensive tackles are in there, and that is Trayvon Moehrig, who gets that shot to the face from Juwan Jennings before these two teams leave the field.
Yeah, obviously there's something that happened during the ball game or throughout the course of the game that Juwan Jennings.
Yeah, that's because Trayvon Moehrig decided to ask him if he's ever taken a flight to Bangkok before.
Can I say this? I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I'm biased. I think, and you can play that audio 99 times, I think Troy Aikman is the absolute best color commentator on TV. Oh my God. Diesel, it's not even close.
God. He is good. I'm just giving you a hard time. You are biased.
I am biased.
You are very
That's
biased.
Fine. That's fine.
But let me guess, you think Tony Romo's the second best?
Third.
Oh,
I like Greg Olsen a lot. Love Greg Olsen. I think Greg Olsen. But there's just something about those tones of Troy Aikman. Play it one more. You have it one more time?
Yeah, let's
I just want to hear it one more time.
Trayvon Moehrig.
All right, Joe, hush.
Who gets that shot to the face from Juwan Jennings.
Here's Troy.
These
Here's
two
Troy.
Teams leave the field.
Yeah, obviously there's something that happened during the ball game or throughout the course of the game that Juwan Jennings.
Yeah, dynamite drop in, Monty. Obviously there's something that happened.
Okay, it wasn't a great drop. I'll admit it wasn't a great drop. But let me ask you this question. What other quarterback had as successful of a career and then just all of a sudden when this guy gets into broadcasting, he has maybe one of the best broadcasting voices. I don't know what. I'm biased. Yes, to answer your question, but I love me some Troy Aikman, man. I really do.
Here's a little audio from Dave Canales after the game talking about that Trayvon Merrick punch to the beans.
As you know, we've just been kind of talking to the team and wrapping up the day, but that'll be a conversation that I'll dig into.
Were you trying to talk to him tonight?
Yeah, I'll talk to him tonight, and I want to make sure I'll have a chance right now to look at the film and see what happens.
No, good. Yeah, take a lot of ownership there, Dave.
We'll talk to him next week. Great question, reporter. But no,
you got players out there throwing uppercuts from down south, and that's not okay.
It's not, but you know what? At least there was something exciting that happened.
Last one here for you, Cole. This is a good piece of audio. We love playing audio like this. Even though he hasn't had the most prolific rookie season, Cam Ward is very thankful, obviously, for the position that being an NFL quarterback has put him in so that he can help out his community. Mm-hmm. Here's Cam.
It's awesome for rookies to get out here, do what we need to do for the community to help them in need. But it's a joy to be out here, especially on one of our off days. We get a chance to help somebody else.
What was your assignment in line? What were you passing out?
I was passing out the corn.
Yeah,
corn. We all had different assignments. Gunner had the turkey. The gravy right beside me. Callie had the turkey. So we all had to give out a little bit of something of everything.
This is a NFL quarterback, and he's on corn duty.
You know what? I don't have a problem with corn as long as it's cream corn. Like if you show up to Thanksgiving with that just out of the can,
just a bowl of yellow corn kernels.
I would like to stop the thing. Who brought this? What do we do?
Shouldn't the quarterback be on turkey duty? Like the most important player should get the most important food to hand out.
You would think that. Speaking
Unless
of
it's some rookie hazing that I don't know about.
Speaking of Turkey Day, in the very next segment, Diesel, the 3 games, our thoughts on the 3 games that are happening on Turkey Day, plus a question to you and the Tolos out there when it comes to turkey. Somebody earlier told me that I was far too Southern, far too redneck for what I did today. Did I cross the redneck line today? I'll tell you what I did next.
Diesel on the Fan Upstate.
There are 3 games on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day in the NFL. And to make things a little bit better, Joe Burrow is expected to play in that final game of the night, so we don't have to endure really bad football to end the night. So we'll get to those games in just a second. But Diesel, I throw this picture up on the stream for those watching the show on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. A friend of mine told me that I did something today that was too Southern, but this is the second year in a row that I've done this. For those watching, you can see the picture that I have posted on the stream. Can you tell what that is by looking at it without me explaining?
You're brining your turkey in lemon juice and some looks like thyme and what's that? Dill.
Mm-hmm. So you're right on point. I've got a cooler.
Yep.
I've got in the cooler the turkey.
Yep.
However, because we love sweet tea in the South, I came across something a couple of years ago that I've found to be pretty dang good. If for those watching, again, if you're not watching, you can see the picture on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
Clever girl.
Diesel, a turkey is brining in sweet tea for 48 hours.
Nice.
Now, you also add salt and some garlic. I've got lemons and oranges and some, I think you're right, thyme and some other stuff in there. Some herbs in there.
Herbs.
So here's what it does. When you brine a turkey in sweet tea, obviously you know how brining works. It moistens the bird or whatever you're brining, right? But there's just something. Hey, the worst thing in the world when you eat Thanksgiving turkey is to have that dry turkey. Like, you feel like you're in Christmas vacation when they cut the thing open. Poof. When you brine your turkey in sweet tea, it is, I'm telling you, it's a secret hack. It is phenomenal. You've got to try.
Does it have to be good sweet tea?
No, this is like
just any sweet tea.
This is good sweet tea. It's Laura Lynn sweet tea. It's good sweet tea.
I mean, I can say, does it need to be Bojangles sweet tea? Can it be just off the shelf?
It can be. It's literally off the shelf. Cheapest I could find. So, by the way, there's a hack for any of you who have never brined a turkey.
Yeah.
If you think it's too dry on Thanksgiving Day, brine it for 24. So, not done yet. And there's more. I'll brine it.
There's more.
I'll brine it for 24 hours. Tomorrow night, I'll take it out of the brine, dry it off. You got to dry it off really well, okay?
Sure.
If you're frying it. And then you inject it tomorrow night.
Are you frying yours?
Yes.
Okay.
Inject it, butter, all the inject. You can get them in Ingles, right? The injectables.
Yep.
Inject that bad boy up. Stick it up. And then when you fry when you fry it on Thursday after brining it and injecting it, I'm telling you, you will have the best turkey you've ever had in your entire life.
That's it. I love deep fried turkey.
It's
I
so
love
good.
it.
It's so good.
My wife uses a different method. It's called spatchcocking.
Oh, yeah. I watched the TikTok video.
You just fillet it open.
Yeah.
You break the ribs and you fillet it open.
You
take
push
the
it
spine
down?
out. Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. Corn Chip says
That sounds
sweet
a little
tea.
sadistic. You love to hear it crack, huh?
I'm telling you, man, it's life-changing. And, people make fun of me. Like, I had somebody send me that picture today because I posted it, and somebody said, man, that's the most redneck thing I've ever heard in my entire life. But I'm telling you, brine it. You can do it tonight. You brine it for 24 hours
Starting
in sweet
tonight.
tea tonight.
Dan B says his understanding is the brine is supposed to be salty to help break the fibers of the meat down. Adding sugar seems odd for a savory meat.
I'm telling you, it's the best thing in the world. I just had a friend of mine text me just now and said, I'm going to a store, not named Ingles, to get sweet tea right now. I'm sold. I'm telling you, it changes it because nobody wants that dry freaking turkey on Thanksgiving, Diesel.
I think Dewey just brines his in water. Just put it in water, be fine. Josh Babb says,
you say brine it in
just
water?
brine it in water. Or bourbon. I don't know which. Brine it in beer. Ooh. You telling me a beer brined turkey
I think
wouldn't
there's
be
too
delicious?
much, like, I don't know. Maybe.
Like, have you know the difference between like a regular brat and a beer brat? Like where you boil it in beer to get it started. And it didn't have to be good beer. It could be cheap beer. It doesn't matter. It takes it to another level. Beer brine turkey.
Like beer can chicken, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, though, man, you got to try that sweet tea brine. It is life-changing. Like, nobody wants to sit there Thursday and have to, like, pour that gravy just all over it because it's so dry.
But I love gravy.
Yeah, but you don't want dry turkey. You don't want it. Texter says, my turkey 3 days ahead of time or high. I brine my turkey 3 days ahead of time with salt, rosemary, sage, thyme, lemon, salt. Corn Shep says, sweet tea sucks, but I can get behind it.
He says he can't get behind it.
Oh, he can't.
Wait, sweet tea sucks.
Yeah,
Corn Shep, what is wrong with
terrorist.
you? Banished.
He's a terrorist. Texter says dry brine is the best. Texter, I don't know what dry brine is. You would have to explain it. I mean, I don't know what that I don't know the difference between, like, is that seasoning it? Is that basically the same thing as seasoning it? Dan B says your turkey isn't dry because you fry it. It's kind of like cheating. Smoking a turkey is art. No, I'm with you. I love smoked turkey as well, but there's just something about that crisp, like that. I don't know. Fried turkey is hard to beat, isn't it? It's just hard to beat. Speaking of turkey, Turkey Day, 3 games on Turkey Day, Diesel, starting at 1 o'clock. We've got, by the way, I think the 1 o'clock game might be the best game of the day. And then maybe the 4 o'clock game with my Cowboys, right? We'll see. 1 o'clock, you have Packers and Lions. 7-4 Lions versus 7-3-1 Green Bay Packers. Detroit favored by 2.5. 4:20, you have Dallas and Kansas City. 8:20, you have the Ravens and the Bengals. And let's be honest, nobody cared about that game until they just announced that Joe Burrow was going to play.
Yeah.
Baltimore, by the way, is favored by 7. And Kansas City is favored by 3 over my Dallas Cowboys. Which of the, in your opinion, which of the 3 interests you the most?
Probably Packers Lions.
Yeah. It's going to be a good one, right?
Probably.
2 playoff teams.
Yeah.
That's why.
Chiefs, Cowboys, I mean, that's just an old school rivalry. Great matchup there. And man, anytime Patrick Mahomes is on a team, you can't count them out. I mean, they win this game, they're 7-5. They're a playoff team again. You never know.
Josh, by the way, says on X, the night game is trash.
Bengals, Ravens.
Yeah,
Joe Burrow going to play? Is Joe Burrow going to be back to
They've won
form
3
here? No.
games. I'll be honest with you. I'll turn it over and watch Memphis Navy at 7:30 instead of this Bengals Raven. I'd rather watch Memphis and Navy, I think.
Do we normally get college football on Thanksgiving?
Used to get the Egg Bowl. Used to get Ole Miss, Mississippi State.
That was the only one, wasn't it?
That's right.
Like,
now they've moved it to noon on Friday,
Losers.
by the way. Noon.
Losers.
I mean, can you believe that? Noon? I mean, that is the
Driving home
dumbest
from
thing in the world.
grandmother's house.
And then next year, just think, or 2 years from now, we'll have Clemson, South Carolina on Black Friday, right? Oh, by the way, let's go to Kev. Sorry, Kev, for keep you waiting so long. What's
Kev,
up, Kev?
welcome.
What's up, my guy?
How are you, man?
Hey, man, you got me thinking about this brine and the turkey and the sweet tea. I brined mine last year in ice water, lemon, some salt, and some other stuff. But when you grow up eating dry turkey all your life, you got to fill it full of juice or whatever you decide to put on it to get something out of it. Yeah, it's enough of that, man.
It's so bad, isn't it?
It's bad. It's like, and I see why some people are like, man, I don't eat turkey because it's so dry.
Dry,
Well,
yeah.
I tell you what, Big Kev got one for you now, so you need to come on by the house and get some of that so I can put you on the new turkey because juicy turkey is where it's at, man. You got to have it.
I'll tell you what, man. Try the sweet tea brine, Kev. I'm not kidding. I'll tell you, if we ever did, we need a next time we're at Ingles. I'm telling you, it is game changing. Like it, you're right. A lot of people don't like it.
I'm getting 2 of them. One is going in the iced tea, and the other one is going to do hot. Now the spatchcock deal, then I'm smoking it. So
I like that.
Ooh,
I like that.
Just smoke. Doing the spatchcock takes out about another hour worth of work, man. So
that's true.
Once you take that backbone out and put them on that smoker, 2 hours later, you ready to eat.
God.
Yeah, love it.
Hungry now, Kev. You're the man. Thanks for the call, buddy.
Thanks, Kev. I've already had 2 Thanksgivings at this point.
What?
My wife made a Thanksgiving 2 weeks ago.
Why?
Because she just loves to make a Thanksgiving
But
dinner.
what Thanksgiving?
I know, but I had.
You allow her to do that?
Yeah. Do I allow her to do that? Come on. Turkey, dressing, green bean casserole.
But you did it before
mac
Thanksgiving?
and cheese, potatoes. Yeah. And then
No.
at the South Carolina game last week, they had Thanksgiving
Oh,
in the
yeah,
South
press
Carolina
box.
press box.
They do every
It was
year.
amazing.
It's good, by the way.
It's so good.
It really is.
A little stingy on the slice of the turkey and ham, but otherwise,
Ask my
still
guy back
enjoyed it.
there, the one that wears the hat. Give him a little more. Give him a little more.
He was like, "Do you want this slice?" I'm like, "Are you slicing it thin to put it on a sandwich? What are we doing here? Come on, give me another slice of that."
I'm telling you,
Ham
I
was
don't
good.
want the Thanksgiving until the day of because I'll be
got another
tired of
Thanksgiving
it.
coming
I'll be
up.
tired of it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm not tired of talking Clemson, South Carolina. Diesel, we've got to get into what Dabo Sweeney said today, what Shane Beamer said today. We'll have that audio for you next.
I got South Carolina winning on Saturday 17-14. Cole, your prediction was South Carolina 28, Clemson 20. So you got a little more points scored than I do.
8-point game in favor of the Gamecocks.
I'm going to say it's going to be sloppy.
And for the record, I just want everybody to write it down because, every other day I'm called a Clemson homer and all I do is, yada, yada, yada. I am picking South. For the second year in a row, I'm picking South Carolina to knock off Clemson. And this time I'm picking them by 8 points, 28-20. So no more of this Clemson homer BS, okay?
Bubba Brooks has gotten in his upset pick. He's taking Navy plus 5.5 over Memphis. Tolos, keep your upset picks coming now through the end of the show. You got 52 minutes left to get us your upset picks for this week. You'll have tomorrow during the show. Obviously, we want you all to get your upset picks in by 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. We'll go back and pick up the Thursday and Friday picks because not everybody is going to hear that message, but I really want you to get those in early. Let's hear what the coaches who are going to be running the ships on Saturday, running the ships, hopefully not aground, what they had to say about the upcoming Palmetto Bowl. Let's start with Dabo Swinney, what he had to say. I guess here, Cole, with his opening statement.
Yeah, a short opening.
Just 12 minutes? God, Dabo.
I don't know how long the opening statement is, but yeah, starting with Dabo's opening statement from earlier today.
Take it away.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
opening
boss.
novel.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope everybody's ready for a great week. Hopefully, everybody have some time with your families or significant others.
Talk about the game, Dabo.
We all got to be thankful for.
Hey, got to
sure.
give thanks.
And you don't have to look very far, probably around all of circle to just know how blessed we are and how thankful we are.
Yeah, but what about the game,
we have
Dabo?
to be thankful for. So, looking for a great week with our team. Always enjoy this week. It's different with school. I know technically, I guess they have classes today, but I don't know how many actually have classes today.
Yeah, but what about the game, Dabo?
And they're out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it's
You want me to fast forward?
schedule, obviously Thanksgiving, and we have a lot of.
Is this irritating you?
It is. So
Fast forward. You want me to fast
we
forward?
win.
You mean fast forward?
Sure, why not?
This is I know their record's not what they
Oh, good.
wanted it to be.
Jeez.
How far did you have to jump?
Just 30 seconds because you're too thankful.
The thing about being impatient with Dabo Swinney is you don't know if you're going to have to jump 5 minutes into it or 5 seconds.
You need to spend Thursday, being thankful. Jeez.
Very talented. A lot of really, really good players on both sides of the ball. And, offensively, it starts with their quarterback. I mean, he is an elite player. He's a great football player. Can change the game on one play. And you see that in him all the time. So big task there. And obviously we did a poor job with him last year.
Yeah.
And then, I think all their backs are good players. They're all powerful runners. 8 is a guy that's probably the most improved player on their team. He is a take the top off, of the defense type of guy. And I mean, he can run away from anybody. So he's a handful, and they've done a good job, especially as of late, getting their playmakers involved. They've gotten, Sellers, the younger brother, Roland, scored on the first play last week, and second series, another big play. So, I mean, they've been very deliberate in making sure that their playmakers are touching the ball. A lot of shots down the field, 4 and 8. And again, but committed to running the football. And obviously 16 is a huge factor there. So, I think that, again, we've got to play really, really well on defense and find a way to contain this quarterback. And then on the other side, probably, if not the best, certainly as good as anybody we've played, these two ends especially. I mean, these guys are really, really good, very talented, and I think they're strong inside. They got good depth up front. They play a lot of guys, got a pretty good rotation there. I think 17-0 are good players. 24's been around. He's played those snaps, so he's a good player as well. 15 at Murray State, so brought in a good player there. 131.
South Carolina had 267 rushing yards in this game last year. 166 of them were LaNorris Sellers.
Jeez, that's a lot.
Outside of the Coastal game, South Carolina has not topped 200 yards once this season on the ground. Obviously, you lose Rocket Sanders, you lose a lot.
And 166 were from LaNorris?
Yeah, 166 for LaNorris.
That's
last year. They put up 265 last week against Coastal, but obviously it's Coastal. Outside of that, 193 on the road at LSU, 178 against Kentucky. So look, anything could happen in this game, right? Maybe Rashul Fajan has a big day. Maybe Oscar Attaway comes in and has a big day. Don't know. But I don't know that running the football is going to be South Carolina's strong suit. It's not going to put Clemson in that position again. But all they have to do is get the ball out to Jaden Sellers or get that ball into the second level. And that Clemson defensive secondary has a hard time tackling.
Well, I think there's so much to be said about how Mike Furry designs this game plan, because I do believe Tom Allen and those guys at Clemson are going to be more intentional about making LaNorris beat him with his arm, because last year LaNorris beat him with his legs. And look, that's easier said than done because he's such a talented runner, and you just mentioned 166 yards on the ground. But if you can make him beat you with his arm, I think that's what the game plan will be going in, is try to make him one-dimensional, right? And at least you have an idea of what you're going to get. You just can't let him run. And if he starts to get into the run game, gets near 100 yards, and then we're talking about getting Sellers and Harbor involved, I don't see that working out for Clemson.
Yeah.
You've got to limit what he gets on the ground.
I just wonder if we're going to see Clemson in a lot more zone look so that guys have some help out there, or if Clemson's going to try to bring pressure, which we know South Carolina has struggled with, and it'll put LaNorris in a position where he has to throw early and make quick decisions. But then again, you do that, and all of a sudden you're putting your DBs out there on an island against really good receivers like Nick Harbor.
And, another thing about it is, I know that Tom Allen wasn't the DC last year, but you've got to remember a lot of these players on this Clemson defense were on that field last year. A lot of these Clemson players on this Clemson defense couldn't subdue LaNorris Sellers last year. So I think there's something to be said about playing the guy. I'm not saying that makes it easy to defend him and stop him and corral him, Diesel, but I do think there's something to be said about knowing what you did wrong last year. How did you let the guy go for 166 on the ground, and then trying to figure out how we can limit, because he's going to get some, but there's just no way he goes for 166 again. That's not going to happen. You can't let
JT and Greer says South Carolina has a better chance if Brown doesn't play in the fourth quarter again this year. Sammy Brown.
Yeah. And again, newsflash, he's a good player. He needs to be on the field, right? Again, nobody can explain why he wasn't, but I just don't see him giving up 166. That's an ungodly amount of yards.
But if LaNorris breaks off a big run or two, you never know.
And last year he broke off a big run or two in the end, and especially that one I can remember where he was going from left to right and scored. That was 30, 40 yards out last year. So we'll see. It's easier said than done. Let's see what Shane Beamer on the flip side had to say in his press conference today, Diesel.
No school this week, so got Hunter and his friend Hammond here today. I asked them if they wanted to go to the press conference. They were a little bit hesitant. They said, one of them, I won't say which one, said they didn't want to hear any dumb questions, and I assured them that there are no dumb questions from this group right here. So you boys it's a safe space in here.
We're going to get a football, Diesel. We're going to get a football.
Yeah, let's get a football.
I mean, where's the energy?
Another week, another year in this rivalry. Feel extremely grateful to be a part of this rivalry. I've been a part of some good ones in my coaching career, playing career, both Georgia Tech, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Florida, Oklahoma, Texas.
Talk about the game, Shane.
Virginia, and just the different places that I've coached. And this is right there at the top, just what it means to this state, what it means to both fan bases. It's an awesome rivalry, not just in football, as you guys know, but I think what makes this thing unique is the rivalry in all the sports, that no matter what sport we're playing Clemson in, it's a big deal to South Carolina fans and Clemson fans both, and our fan bases. So extremely grateful to be a part of the rivalry, going on year 5 as a head coach. And this is my 9th one, counting my years as an assistant here also. But ton of respect for their program. You guys know how I feel about Dabo, and the respect I have for him as a coach, as a person. He's a friend, and I think a lot of them, they're a team. I think seasons are very similar in a lot of ways. As you look at their schedule, there's 3 or 4 games on that schedule that you look at that easily could have gone the other way. It's a play here, a play there in 3 or 4 different games, and they're 9-10 win team in the mix for the ACC championship. Again, they've had injuries, certainly in some key spots throughout the year, like we have. Every game they've played in, though, they have always competed. They've been in every game. I was so impressed with them watching the Louisville game from my hotel room in College Station with Hunter and Hammond on that Friday night, and the way they battled against Louisville, where there were a lot of times in that game where you felt like Louisville had it under control, but Clemson just kept hanging in there and found a way to win. So it's a testament to their program and the young men they have in that program. A lot of respect for them for sure. And they're playing their best ball right now at the end of the season on a 3-game winning streak and have looked really good doing it in all 3 phases. Offensively starts with Cade Klubnik, the quarterback. It's been cool following his career and seeing how he's just gotten better each and every season. And I know the season didn't start this year the way they wanted or he wanted, but he's just continued to hang in there and get better. He's very hot right now. Adam Randall at running back's been a great change from a depth standpoint for them. He's a load. The offensive line, I know they've had some injuries, but physical, well coached. The 2 tackles have been there forever. A lot of respect for them and the way they play and their durability in their receiving core is dangerous. They've got size, they've got quickness, they've got athleticism. Tight end room has depth. So they're an offense that can score a lot of points and is really dangerous defensively. Every year they're good on defense. I mean, we know that we've struggled to score points on these guys, particularly the last couple seasons, and they're extremely talented this year. Like always, the 2 tackles are as good as anywhere that we've seen, or as good as anybody we've seen this year in regards to a tandem. Woods and Capehart, they're really, really good. They've got size at the edge position. You look at their defense and you look at some of those preseason or NFL draft projections, and a lot of them I don't put stock in, but most of them that I look at, they all have about 3 or 4 of their defensive players picked to go in the first round next spring. So they've got a lot of talent on defense. Sammy Brown and Woodaz at linebacker are really talented linebackers, can work sideline to sideline, physical, and really just instinctive. They have size. And then the secondary, I feel like we've been playing against a lot of those guys now for a long time. So they can cover. They play a lot of man coverage. They're going to challenge you to go make plays and beat them. And it'll be a big battle for our offense. And then special teams are dangerous as well. Dangerous in the return game, punt return and kickoff return. They won the ACC championship game last season because of the last couple plays of the game on special teams, returning a kickoff to midfield and then a game-winning field goal to win the ACC and get in the playoff. This year is no different. They use their best players on special.
That's one thing we hadn't talked about when talking about Saturday's game before we continue to hear from Beamer is special teams. And, if this game does stay close, Diesel, like a lot of people think it could be, I mean, the line's at 2.5 points right now. Gamecocks laying 2.5. I think that's something that we hadn't spent enough time talking about, just the importance of special teams on Saturday. It might be a special teams play here. It might be a special teams play there that either makes or breaks the team that wins this game. And to Beamer's point there, Clemson's been good in special teams and big moments. And, Saturday's going to be a big moment. We've also seen, you think back to last year, we've seen South Carolina not be good in big moments in special teams. So we hadn't spent a lot of time talking about that, but that could be a big area where this game's won or lost.
Yeah, and that's Shane Beamer's area of expertise. You cannot lose on a special teams play. You can't have it cost you in a big way on a special teams play. I think back just last week watching that Florida State NC State game where they had 2 special teams blunders right there at the end of the game where they had an opportunity to win it. You cannot have situations like that happen when special teams is what you are supposed to be very, very good at.
Yeah.
teams, and then they're a little bit different too. They're a little bit more multiple, I feel like, on special teams this year, particularly in their kickoff return game. When we kick off to them, they're doing some things differently schematically, and they've evolved there. So it'll be a challenge in all three areas. It'll be an awesome opportunity. Our guys are really looking forward to the opportunity to go compete. We all feel very blessed to be a part of this rivalry. Need Saturday in Williams-Brice to be unlike. I told our players that we've had some great environments this year for home games, but none of them will compare to what we're going to see on Saturday. So counting on our fans creating that environment for us. I guess it'll be the biggest crowd that Clemson's played in front of all season. So we need that place rocking. I don't give a crap if it's at 12 noon or 12 midnight or 8 p.m. or 3:30. It doesn't matter. The standard that we want to play with and the standard we need our fans to show up with doesn't change. So 12 noon, we'll see you in there, be in there early, create that environment. And it's not lost on me that, neither team is where they want to be right now. At the beginning of the season, I think both teams and most people on the outside expected this game to be played this weekend with playoff implications, just like it was last year. And I'm 100% convinced that this year is a little bit of an outlier and a bump in the road, but that next season and then every year from here on out, this game will be played in November on Thanksgiving weekend with playoff implications. It didn't happen this year, and I know both teams feel like they're extremely close to where they want to get back to and where we were last year at this time, or this game we were going into it and we thought the winner was going to be in the college football playoff. And this season, that's not what the implications of this game are. Still really, really meaningful and still really, really, really special. And it didn't happen this year, but we're not going anywhere. We're only going to continue to get better as a program. And I know Dabo feels the same way. They're not going anywhere. They've recruited well, I'm sure, and got good young players in their program, and they're not going anywhere. So this rivalry is going to be back here pretty quickly to being played Thanksgiving weekend with national implications like it was last year. And there may not be national implications this year, but there's a whole lot of South Carolina implications for both teams, and we're excited to go compete. Questions?
Beamer with a longer opening statement today.
Yeah.
I will say this, though. Nobody likes that it's at noon, right? We can all get that out of the way. It was announced back in the summer that it was at noon, and nobody likes it. However, I will say this, to his point. Last year, I was at the South Carolina LSU game at noon. And I can listen, I've been going to South Carolina games for as long as since I was a kid. I've been to many, many, many South Carolina games at Williams-Brice. That noon environment last year when they were playing LSU, I can't recall many environments as electric as that was. So just because it's at noon doesn't mean it can't be electric. And like he said, Diesel, I think it's going to be electric. I think there's going to be a large contingent of both fan bases, and it matters. It does matter. I know the last 6 years say that no, Cole, home field advantage doesn't matter, but I do think home field advantage is going to matter Saturday.
I do like how South Carolina spreads the Clemson fans down the entire sideline so that they can't take over an end zone and make it difficult to score and hear plays coming in down in that corner of the end zone. I know the family, just like most places, the family gets the corner of the end zone.
Say it right.
Family.
Say it right.
That's different kind of tigers.
Yeah.
But they obviously take that upper deck across from where we are in the press box, and they give the visiting fans that entire probably top 15, 20 rows all the way across. And it may be the same next to where we are on the side of the field that we're on, but I think that's smart.
It's gonna be fun.
Spread them out a little bit. Don't let them generate a whole lot of noise from all the way up there in the top of the end zone.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, Diesel, there's a chance that you or I will be there. I think so, right?
I hope
You're
so.
planning on being there?
I hope so.
Right?
I've covered a couple of these games before. One down in Columbia, I think maybe one or two in Clemson, and I miss the old days when we could get down on field level and experience it from down there, because that's just a different feeling.
Thanks, COVID.
I don't know if we'll ever get that back.
Some schools still do. Some schools allow it, but some don't for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. Let's continue the conversation where we talk to Jack Veltri of Gamecock Central. Diesel, his thoughts on this matchup. What happened Saturday, according to Jack Veltri of Gamecock Central? That's next.
Bryson on the Fan Upstate.
Only 4 days. 4 days Tolos until Clemson and South Carolina go at it in Columbia at Williams-Brice Stadium, the grand finale, if you will. And to talk about it and much more, we bring on Jack Veltri of Gamecock Central, who joins the show every single Tuesday. Jack, we're starting with a banger here. I want to know, this South Carolina football team in 2025, which Thanksgiving dish would you equate this football team with?
Oh God! I mean, you really put me on the spot there. I know you messaged me a few minutes before about it.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating question, and honestly, I'm trying to think of like what people like what is stuff that like is at Thanksgiving that people don't typically eat. Like I feel like that's pretty much what South Carolina.
That's good.
Would be. Yeah.
Would that be Diesel, Jack, like a green bean casserole?
I love green bean casserole.
Yeah,
with
but
the fried onions on top.
I don't know that a lot of people do they? Do they?
Grown
Jack,
ups
do you?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever had green bean casserole at dinner before for Thanksgiving. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think something along the lines of like a casserole that somebody brings and it's like, oh, okay, just put it off to the side and then don't eat it. Like I feel like it's kind of like that, you
or
know?
like a big bowl of corn, just random corn.
Yeah, like kind of just like your mediocre, run of the mill type of side dish.
Okay, I like that. That might be a little offensive toward Shane Beamer, but I like it.
Is it bad etiquette, Jack, to take something to a Thanksgiving and then take it back home with you if no one eats it?
Oh. See, I personally would. I would if no one's gonna eat it.
Oh, I would too.
Yeah, I'd bring it back. If nobody's gonna eat it, bring it back. Why not?
Jack, can you give us the latest on just how healthy these Gamecocks are going into this game? I know Nick Harbor sat out last week, didn't play against Coastal, but don't know whether Shane just figured I don't really need him to win this football game. Give him another week to rest up. Where are they at health wise headed into Clemson?
Yeah, they seem to be in pretty good shape heading into this weekend. Dylan Stewart and Nick Harbor are expected to be good to go for this game. That is what Shane said earlier today, speaking to the media. So he expects them to play. And yeah, look, with Nick, it was more so just about letting him get another week to recover, get ready to roll for Clemson. I mean, it's obvious by the fact of what the final score was. They didn't really need him to be out there playing. And same thing with Dylan Stewart. So we'll see how Saturday looks, but they should be good to go.
Texter says fruitcake. Another texter says,
what'd you call me?
That's a good one.
Fruitcake. You like that one, Jack? Another texter says veggie platter.
It depends what's on the platter. I don't mind vegetables, but I'll say, I agree.
You like the
I think fruitcake's a good analogy for South Carolina in 2025.
I like it. Jack, when Diesel just asked you about the health, I mean, I know health is like important and having your horses is important, but does the health of both teams sway your pick of who you like to win this game Saturday?
You and I were talking about it this morning, Cole. I think you mentioned it. Clemson's been pretty banged up this year.
Yeah.
Like, Brian Wesco's not going to be going in this game. Like, they got some other guys that are hurt. I mean, that definitely has to affect Clemson to some degree, right? And I think for South Carolina, sure, do they have injuries? Yeah, but I think for the most part, they have their guys, and getting Dylan Stewart and Nick Harbor back is going to be critical in this game. So I think it really just comes down to, it's not even so much about the injuries, but more so about, like, which teams are going to show up this weekend. Like, is it going to be the South Carolina that has played pretty good for 6 of the last 8 quarters against A&M and Coastal, or is it going to be the team that can't finish in the fourth quarter and just kind of struggles to get it going offensively? And for Clemson, if it's that team that showed up against Louisville 2 weeks ago, then forget that. I think South Carolina wins this game no problem, but if it's the Clemson team that can kind of get it going like they have the last 3 weeks, including that Louisville game where they played pretty bad, then yeah, maybe the Clemson does have a chance in this one on the road.
Jack, I know you really can't put a whole lot of stock in the Coastal game last weekend. It's just a different level of opponent. But it felt like the offense was clicking in that game, and the offensive line was playing pretty well. Didn't make a lot of pre-snap penalties. I know that's not Mike Furry's job, but how was the sort of distribution of tasks when it comes to calling the offense handled in that game? And do you think that's the right way to do it again for this Clemson game?
Absolutely. Look, I know everyone's going to say, "Oh, it's Coastal. You put up nearly 600 yards of offense up against a Sun Belt school. Congratulations!" Like that's exactly what South Carolina needed. I don't care who they're playing. Putting up 579 yards of offense and scoring 50 plus points is impressive. I don't care who it's against. And the fact they were doing it against Coastal, who is banged up, they got some guys out defensively. They were without their starting quarterback last week. So I get it. Like, it's Coastal, but South Carolina, how bad they've been offensively this year, they needed kind of that shot in the arm there, and that's exactly what they've gotten here. And even the week before against A&M, put up a really good first half against that Aggie defense, which has been really tough this year. So, yeah, I think Mike Furry's done a pretty good job of calling this offense, calling what plays work and kind of ridding of which ones don't, and kind of also getting creative along the way. I love seeing the touch push used twice in that game to score touchdowns. I love just the simplicity of that first play of calling a screen to Jaden Sellers, and it works so perfectly, not just because of what Sellers did on that play of cutting upfield, but the blocking was textbook, man. That's some of the best blocking I've seen South Carolina receivers have on the perimeter in my time on the beat. So a lot of things went well in that game for South Carolina, and it's definitely a jolt to get them going here heading into Clemson.
We're talking to Jack Veltri, Gamecock Central, just a few days away from the Clemson-South Carolina game. Jack, we know where these teams are. They're not playoff bound. One's bound for a bowl game. The other one, this might be their Super Bowl. With that being said, put you on the spot here. I have on my phone in my hand Game Time app open. I use Game Time a good bit. It's not an endorsement, but I have it open. What do you think the cheapest ticket is right now at Williams-Brice on the Game Time app for Saturday's game?
Oh gosh, I would say probably $100. I still feel like this game, even though these teams are not very good this year, I still feel like tickets are going to be relatively expensive.
Diesel, what's your best guess? Lowest ticket price right now on the Game Time app.
I'll bet you could find one. I bet you could find one for $75.
Diesel says 75. Jack says $100.
$1, Bob.
The lowest price ticket on the Game Time app is in the end zone, upper deck of the end zone, section 906 for $136.
Wow.
How about that?
Wow. How about that? Imagine what ticket prices would have been if this were last year's game at Williams-Brice. I mean, my gosh, man. Wow, that's crazy.
What does that say about this game? I mean, that's a pretty good – I mean, a family, if you have like a family of 5 or 6, it's still pricey. But, I mean, for the Palmetto Bowl, like if Diesel and I just wanted to roll up and sit in the stands to be able to sit there for maybe by game time, it's $100, Jack. What's that say in your mind?
It's a good rivalry, man. It's one that's definitely slept on in comparison to, look, you always hear about the game with Ohio State, Michigan. You hear about the Iron Bowl. You hear about Georgia Tech even now a little bit after how last year went. You hear Texas A&M, Texas. I mean, you hear about all these different games. And I feel like Carolina, Clemson is kind of like that like the middle ground of the great rivalry games. And then the ones that you kind of just like don't think about, and then there's South Carolina, Clemson, kind of like a little bit of that in between. So Shane kind of put it perfectly today that he feels like this rivalry can go up against any of the other ones in the country. Like, it's not going to back down from it. I mean, when these two teams are really good and there's a lot to play for, hence go back to last year when these two teams are top 50 in the country playing for something bigger than just state pride, it's at its best. And so if South Carolina Clemson can get back to that consistently starting next year, then, yeah, you have a really great rivalry that can go head-to-head with some of the bigger ones out there, because this one just alone on state pride and what it means around here in this state, it alone really carries what this rivalry is all about.
At Jack T. Veltri on Twitter, find him and go give him a follow. Jack, I said yesterday that if Mike Furry could secure a commitment from Lenoris Sellers to come back next year, his resume should go to the top of the stack. Agree or disagree, or is that just too far?
Well, I think it also depends on what this offense does this weekend, right? It's one thing to get Lenoris to commit to come back to Carolina for another year, but it's also another thing of, okay, what did you do in the final game of the season? Now, South Carolina puts up 40 points in this game on Saturday, and they have over 400 yards of offense. You're looking at a 3-game sample size that, for the most part, would be really, really good and really hard to deny, right? And if you get Lenoris to come back for another year, then yeah, I think you have a real good shot to be the full-time OC. But we know what Shane's timeline looks like of this. He wants to get this hire made pretty soon after the Clemson game. The quick and easy scenario would be go hire Mike Furry, promote him to the full-time OC. But I don't think you're going to be getting a decision from Lenoris Sellers immediately after this game ends, right? He's got about a month until the portal opens. If he wanted to hypothetically transfer, he'll have even longer to kind of decide what his NFL future looks like, or he could just make the easy decision and come back. But I think, yeah, look, it's more so about what has Furry done over these 3 games. I think that's going to be most important, and then you try to get Sellers back from there.
Jack, you don't think Lenoris already has his mind made up?
I personally think he's coming back. I don't have the inside scoop on that or anything. It's more so just my thinking here of I don't think he's necessarily NFL ready, and I don't think he's going to transfer. I think if he wanted to transfer, he would have done so last year. I think he's got a good thing going here at South Carolina where he can get paid handsomely. He can develop under a new offensive coordinator and kind of be a legend here at South Carolina. Like, imagine if he beats Clemson this weekend. He'd be 2-0 as a starter against Clemson. Yeah. That in itself is kind of writing himself amongst the greats in the history books. Why not come back for another year, try to do something even better?
Jack, a follow-up to that, and maybe we already talked about it. If we did, I apologize. How much say in your mind should Lenoris have? If it's Furry, if it's somebody else, has Beamer talked about that at all?
Yeah, I actually asked him about that pretty much directly, as you put it, Cole, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago now. And I basically framed the question like that of who kind of has input on this hire aside from yourself? Like, who are you going to for advice? Is it players? Is it coaches? Is it your administration? And it's kind of all those people. Like, the quarterbacks definitely had a lot of input on Mike Shula getting hired as the full-time OC this time last year. And then, you are getting input from the AD and Jeff Crane, who is another one of Shane's bosses in that administration. So, yeah, you're definitely getting a lot of input. But I feel like you can't let Lenoris necessarily make the decision on this. It's got to be Shane's decision at the end of the day. But, yeah, definitely get some good input from people out there that can help you in this hiring process.
Jack, we had a couple of Clemson guests on yesterday. I asked one of them this question. I think it was Chapel Fowler I asked this question of. So I'll ask you the same thing. There's a handful of recruits that are kind of picking and choosing between Clemson and South Carolina coming to this game. Do you get a sense of any of these guys that maybe you feel like this one is a tipping point decision maker for them?
I don't think so. Shane was actually asked about that today, and he kind of felt like it's not really much about like he used to feel like that used to be the case. If South Carolina won against Clemson, then yeah, they would get more recruits that kind of were on the fence. But I think it's more so just about what you do over the other 364 days, as he kind of put it, in that recruiting battle. Like, if it is coming down to South Carolina and Clemson for a recruit, it really shouldn't necessarily come down to, oh, okay, this team wins the Palmetto Bowl, so I'm going to go to this school. Like, that's kind of a silly way to make a decision, in my opinion. It's pretty uninformed. I think you got to make your decision based off of what school you feel you can succeed at the most, and whether it is South Carolina or Clemson, how they go about impressing you during the recruiting process, I think is more important than, oh yeah, this team won the game, so I'm going to go to that school because of that.
Jack, my last question, how do you see this one playing out Saturday?
I'm kind of with you on this, Cole, and what you told me before. I think South Carolina wins this game. I could really see it kind of not being close if Carolina plays the way we know they're capable of. If this offense looks like they have in the last 6 to the 8 most recent quarters they played, they should be pretty good, because I think this defense is more than capable of going out there and shutting down Cade Klubnik and this offense. But it will start with slowing down Adam Randall, because if Adam Randall gets it going and runs for like over 100 yards in this game, I think Clemson has a very good chance. But I trust South Carolina at home to get it done on Saturday.
Jack, you are the best. We wish you the best of luck this weekend covering the game. Of course, we'll be following your stuff, and there's a chance you might see one of Cole or I down in the booth.
Yeah,
not
so.
for sure which one of us is coming yet.
Nah, man, I'm looking forward to it. Look, happy Thanksgiving, guys. Thanks for having me on
Jack.
all season. Talking to you guys.
Thanks
Appreciate
so
it.
much. I'll say this real quick. I do not belong in the camp of wanting my quarterback to have a say in who the OC is. And I know that might sound really bullish and dumb, but I'm sorry, I don't. I'm not letting an 18, 19, 20-year-old kid decide my future. I'm just not doing it.
Especially a kid that is going to be gone after one more year no matter what.
Yeah, like,
right? I mean, maybe you could say, hey, this is our decision. Do you like the decision?
You 100%.
But you can't let him decide.
Yeah, I think you want him to be happy with it. You want him to be happy with it. But it's not like, hey, Lenores, who do you like? No. This is way too important. And maybe it's Mike Furry. We'll see. I put the question on our Facebook page yesterday, and it's got a lot of comments on, if Mike Furry shows out Saturday, should Beamer hire him, retain him? You comment on it. Also, reminder, 5.
The Rich Eisen Show, tomorrow at noon, only on the Fan Upstate.
I'm Chuck Sanders. Here's the Sports Flash presented by Progressive. Clemson football closes out the regular season this Saturday when they take on the South Carolina Gamecocks. It's a noon kickoff. Clemson riding a 3-game winning streak, 6-5 overall. They finished 4-4 in the ACC. And a tough.
on the Fan Upstate.
Well, I wonder.
Ho, 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 ho. You got a little bumper music, Diesel.
Greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs, chicken, turkeys, rabbits, you name it. Look.
Have you heard this?
Greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs,
The Thanksgiving special.
chicken, turkeys, rabbits, you name it. Greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams,
Lamb? Who has lamb for Thanksgiving?
Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes. Is that not great?
Oh, that's amazing.
I mean, that is the greatest thing in the world.
That is, the song is a recipe for me laying out on my back trying to breathe.
That'd be a good TikTok.
You know, I think Thanksgiving, post-Thanksgiving meal might be the only time it is socially acceptable for you and everyone in your immediate family to all be sitting on the couch with your pants unbuttoned. Nobody can breathe.
Oh,
can we dispense with the pleasantries here? Okay, we're all family. We're all gonna get to know each other in a completely different kind of way. Just lay back on the couch.
That's great.
Unbutton the pants. God,
let it go.
Yeah,
it's time.
You, as somebody, Cole, see, you have done a phenomenal job over the last year shedding some lbs. How much weight have you dropped over the past year?
Probably 25.
That's
25,
good.
something
I mean,
like that.
I could stand to lose about 25.
I could lose about 10 more. I think.
I need some help though. Like, how do I actually take it easy on Thanksgiving?
No. You don't worry about no.
So Thanksgiving calories don't count.
No, are you kidding me?
They don't count. You can eat as many calories as you want.
The last thing you should worry about is diet on Thanksgiving. I mean, my gosh.
Plus, I feel like it's disrespectful to walk over to your seat and sit down with 2 little pieces of turkey, a roll and a couple deviled eggs, and be like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
And what do you mean? Then you, what do you?
It's like
can't get up.
You pretend you're going into a foreign country and being invited in for dinner, and you're being disrespectful by not trying their food.
Like it might be. It's more disrespectful to get up after you finished your meal, and everybody else is just getting past the appetizers.
Yeah.
So then you just sit there like,
there's no
what
shame.
do I do?
There's
What do I do
no
now?
shame, man. You just got to let it rip. It's just part of it. Nobody's judging you on Thanksgiving.
All the turkey. I want all the turkey because on Thanksgiving Day, it never gets any better than it is right then.
That's
I know
true.
a lot of people like to say the turkey. To me, it's never as good. Never as good the second time.
No,
around.
it's still good. It's just not as good.
Tolos, I'll be here tomorrow. Will Vandervoort of the Clemson Insider, Michael Borky of Sports Talk Mississippi. What's he hearing? The absolute latest on the Lane Kiffin, I would call sweepstakes, but maybe fiasco is a better word for it. We'll get into that tomorrow, right here on Wire to Wire with Diesel and Cole Bryson, without Cole Bryson on the Fan Upstate.